Mama, it's a brand new day. Baby, get ready for brand new Jessie J. Baby, let me tell you how it is. Let's get together so we can handle our biz. I got the
From the north, south, east, and west, and the side. If you believe in us, with the fire, with all we have. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, say we
Please, let's play a video now. So we want us to focus on the LED screen for the Blueprint conference video. All right, beautiful. Yeah, so one more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the entire team of the school, for the Genesis School. Please, let's put our hands together for them first off. Thank you. All right, so I want to do something real quick now, okay? I want to ask them some questions, okay? And please, we want a reply back. It's very simple. Now, we are all, or if not possible, everybody here into design in one way or the other. So interior, basically, okay? And if yours is tech or painting, it's very simple. So I don't put anybody on spot. So let me ask the question. So if I come to you, you then answer the question. If you were to be an interior accessory, like an accessory, what would you be and why? That's the first question.
check.
I'm going to say it again. If you were to be an interior accessory, what would you be and why? Yeah, the mic. What would you be and why? Somebody like me now, I'd like to be a chair because I'm a chairman, or door lock. I think door lock, yeah. So if you annoy me, you won't enter the house. So I'm going to go, because when everybody were coming, when we said stand up and move forward, she did not move. She sat down on that seat. So she's the one that's going to answer this first question. Yes. Next time you will move when they say move.
So I'll be a light.
You'll be a light. And why are you not sitting at the back? Because it's the light. Deep. All right, so why? Why will you be the light?
Yes, because without light, you cannot see anything.
Yeah, and you are the light. Nice. It was the second man, okay, the first man too. When we say move forward, he did not move. So I know you are not pressing phone. It's you I'm talking about. Yeah. So you're answering the question. Yeah. If you were to be an accessory, like an interior accessory, she said lights. So you are still focusing on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Actually, I'll be a light as well.
No, sir. You have to use the mic.
Actually, I'll be a light as well.
No, you cannot say what she has said. You have to say another one. If you're an accessory, like interior accessory, what will you be and why?
I don't have a questions.
Only light.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Nice. Let me go to this final person. Yeah, final. Yes. And that's why I don't want, you can sit. It's not, I'm not a speaker that is formal. It's,
All
so
right.
if you're an interior accessory,
Okay.
what would you be and why?
All right. I'll be a green plant.
Use the mic very well.
All right. A green plant.
If we're talking to an opposite, use the mic well.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll be a green plant.
Okay.
To bring in nature into a space.
Okay, nice. I think it deserves a round of applause. That's nice. All right. Thank you. All right, number 2. What stage of design process do you like the most and why? Let's go to Dulux. They will like this one. Yeah. Yeah. What stage of design process do you like the most and why?
I'll probably say, I don't know if that's right, but I'll say planning, maybe.
You
Planning.
say?
Planning.
Planning. Okay, why?
Well, because that's what will determine the end.
Okay, nice. What's your name?
My name is Gazi.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
How many children?
1.
One. You are really planning. I like that. All right. So let's come here. Yeah. It's a very simple question. A very simple question. What stage of design process do you like the most and why? Before I ask the final question.
I would say the part where the accessory comes in.
Where the accessory? Why? Why?
It just brings everything back to focus. Everything just comes together nicely at that point.
All right, nice, thank you. All right, so final question. If you were to boycott the process of designing or process of when you are designing, if you were to boycott it at a space, what will it be and why? If you were to boycott, you know now, Nigerians, we know how we roll. If you were to boycott a process when designing, yeah, what will you boycott and why? If you
Planning.
the planning
Yeah, because the planning takes a lot of time.
takes a lot of time.
Yeah. So I feel if we can have a framework or that speeds up the process to really make sense.
Nice, beautiful. All right, let's come here. So let's give it to her. Yeah, the final question. So if you were to boycott a process when designing a space, what will it be and why? And why?
The planning.
The planning too. Okay, nice. All right. So we just wanted to get everybody in sync. But at this point, I want to bring up somebody who is going to welcome us officially for this conference. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, looking at her, you will see that she's what we call interior design herself. She has the right colors. She knows how to match together. And trust me, she knows how to bring out the beauty in any space you give to her. Ladies and gentlemen, she's the founder of Jenny School of African Interior Design and the convener of Blueprint Conference. Distinguished ladies, this is when you're meant to be clapping and be shouting. No, I'm going to start again. No, calm down. You come back. You have to shout and you have to scream. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at her alone, she's beautiful. She knows how to mix colors together. And if you give her, you are meant to be shouting at this point. If you give her a space, she's going to give you the very best when it comes to interior designing. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, she is the founder of the Jenny School of African Art and the convener of the Blueprint Conference. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome Mrs. Jennifer Chukwueme. Please, let's put our hands together for her.
Coach and author. She teaches professionals, entrepreneurs, and interior designers how to thrive in their spaces, lives, and businesses through design. She has taught over 400 interior designers how to build, grow, and scale their businesses, run a profitable business so they can live a well-designed life. Based on her knowledge and experience over the years, dealing with different types of clients, she also teaches women how to design their homes with confidence like a pro. Jennifer is a graduate of commercial interior design, business and branding and interior design from the Interior Design Institute, UK, with a first degree in geology and master's in applied computing and IT from the University of Bedfordshire, UK. A graduate of Entrepreneurial Essentials from the Harvard Business School cohort November 2021. Prior to coaching, years ago, she launched her interior design consulting company, Jenny's Designs, in 2014, which provides interior design services to residential, commercial, and corporate clients. She has worked on numerous projects for high net worth individuals, multinationals, and top-rated schools in Lagos. Jenny's School of African Interior Design was founded to bridge the gap in the interior design education in Nigeria and Africa by raising entrepreneurs through design. JSED is the first approved educator of interior design and decoration. It is an approved virtual training center for interior design by Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Jennifer shares her experience and knowledge through her signature courses, trainings, coaching, consulting, one-on-one coaching, seminars, group coaching, conference, webinars, and mastermind. In 2020, she launched a furniture manufacturing factory and online furniture hardware store. The host of the largest interior design conference in Nigeria called the Blueprint Conference. The author of the Interior Design Planner, a grant awardee of the German GIZ project and United States of African Development Foundation, where she has trained over 300 interior design students, a mentor at the Faith Foundation and Tony Elumelu Foundation, the lead interior design consultant for Dulux Nigeria and mastermind behind the Dulux Design Challenge for Big Brother Nigeria 2020, and recently awarded the top 100 most influential young leader in Africa 2021. A proud member of the Interior Designers Association of Nigeria, past president and vice president of the Electoral Committee of the Interior Designers Association of Nigeria, presently the president of the Interior Designer Association of Nigeria. Let's welcome Jennifer Chukwujekwe.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. I was wondering if that was me. Well, hey, that's me. Okay, so on behalf of the management of Jenny's School of African Interior Design, I want to recognize the presence of the founder of our one and only IDEN, Interior Designer Association of Nigeria, Ms. Titi Ogufere, who is presently here. I would like to recognize the presence of the South African Consul General, Mr. Bobby. You can't miss him. To all our sponsors, partners, thank you very much for coming, and to all interior designers, welcome. So it's a great pleasure for me to host the 4th edition of this conference as the president of the Interior Designer Association of Nigeria and as JSED. The theme of this year's conference is Design Meets Tech, the future of interior design. This topic is very dear to my heart, and from my profile you can see I actually have a passion and a career in interior design and tech. So for me, these are the two things that I love, and it only made sense for us to have design and tech this year. So interior designers are increasingly beginning to find themselves at a loss in meeting the demands of clients who want the newest technology in major projects. So as we begin to navigate unfamiliar waters, you must balance technology, functionality, and aesthetics together to be able to meet the client's lifestyle and expectations. So time has come for us to begin to think outside the box and do things differently. In this regard, interior designers must understand that we do not need to navigate technology alone. We can do this together with the technology world. In fact, using technology now can actually help us enhance our designs. Hence, the aim of this conference is to educate and empower you, design professionals, on how to successfully incorporate technology into your designs by supporting interior designers' needs and your goals. We hope that this conference will provide the necessary technology advice, guidance, and products that are custom to every designer's project. One of the main goals of this conference is to listen closely to everyone and to understand the designer's vision, and then bring that vision to life through partnerships with tech companies who are present here today. I envision a design, build, and technology world of partnerships where everyone is genuinely excited to work together, transforming them into leaders within their respective fields. As designers, we know we can't design in a vacuum. It takes a team of talented and passionate professionals to bring a project together. The same for technology. Technology looks best with well-designed and functions better when well-designed. So the question I ask you today is, who is on your team? Do you just have interior designers on your team? Here's an opportunity for you to participate and start expanding your network and begin to participate with other families of industries, which I call like the tech companies and all that. Begin to build genuine friendships, learn more about professions and other professions, and learn how to work together to create homes and offices that will truly delight our clients. Whether you're a designer, a manufacturer, design professional, or an integrator, building out a talented team now will transform your projects once you begin to think of tech. As technology evolves, it's important to stay current. To create efficient living spaces, designers, we must be aware how to utilize resources and tools to our advantages. The use of technology and tools would help us enhance our professional and overall performance of an interior design project. Today, I see interior designers work with suppliers, vendors, and clients from all corners of the globe and are not limited to geographical location. And with technology, we're able to embrace all this. When we talk about the future of interior design, the one constant that comes to mind is using tools. Interior designers, we must begin to use tools to make optimum use of time, money, and resources. These tools, if used well, can help designers showcase their work a lot more optimally, create portfolio, and even work on dummy design projects to hone our talent further. Now imagine a very high closure rate you would have when you begin to have clients and begin to showcase things like VR, which is a great way to achieve this, and presentation for interior design projects. Interior designers can use augmented reality and virtual reality to create powerful 3D renderings, which will help our clients to visualize a room or space without having to physically create that. And I'm excited to say we're going to show you that experience today, how you can use AR and VR to actually create that for your clients. So many designers may feel that using AR or VR is expensive, but many more are using these tools now, and we need to take advantage of this. So as interior designers, we also need to communicate and collaborate with many more people, and at the same time, handle a multiple of projects. To manage our business and projects and schedule with stakeholders and partners, we need to begin to use proper project management skills. I find that most interior designers struggle a lot with that, and definitely with technology, the sky is the limit. So as an interior designer, you need to understand that the world is moving towards a more sustainable environment. People today want to build smart homes, they want to integrate technology, and they want to make their homes highly energy efficient. So creating modern homes and offices with smart lighting, security features, and modular kitchens and bathrooms will help create a better tomorrow. So to all our sponsors and participants today, thank you for coming. Thank you for your love and support. We really love you. And so I wish you all to have an amazing day today, and welcome to the future of interior design. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for Mrs. Jennifer. Thank you so much. She said it all, and she also said, welcome to a new world of interior designing. This is Mr. Bobby. Yeah, Mr. Bobby. How you doing? I just like the guy. Because all Bobbies are always tall and they're fair. That's why I just like the Mr. Bobby. Yeah. And I like the fact, I even like what you're wearing. You know, are you an interior designer? Yeah, I like the Mr. Bobby. He's a very chilled person, you know, well relaxed, comfortable. And the glasses are really, 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 really good, you know. And that's, Mr. Bobby, you don't know how I feel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play a video now from some of our sponsors here today. So, let's focus on the screen for a few minutes right now. All right? So, please, let's play the videos for sponsors. I'm not coming again. And the partners. All right, thank you. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, we're going to have speakers come up, and trust me, for every of the session, we definitely will want to ask questions. So once they're talking or after they're talking, we're going to pass around papers in which we could put down our question. I want to bring up our first keynote speaker for today. And he's not present here due to Mr. Olumide Olayinka couldn't make it because of an emergency, but he has his representative here. So we're going to also focus on the LED screen yet again. Let's get to know about our keynote speaker. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, he is a cultural heritage professional. Representing Mr. Olumide Olayinka is Mr. Ajala Mugbolahon.
Our speaker,
please let's put our hands
Ajala
together.
Mugbolahon.
Yes, so once we
Ajala
have the
Mugbolahon
video,
is a trained public sector
he then
architect,
come up.
a city planning and environmental protection facilitator. He possessed over a decade worth of experience in public infrastructure-based policy and contract administration due to his work in both Lagos State and the federal government Nigeria. His current work portfolio focuses on cultural heritage management policies, creative industries, and the tourism sector. In executing this work scope, it was part of a 7-man technical team responsible for rebranding Lagos State through the One Lagos Tourism Master Brand at the Southwestern Regional level and also at the national level through the Tour Nigeria Master Brand. He has also served as the Publicity Secretary for Nigeria's foremost environmental and cultural heritage interest group, Legacy 1995, where he currently still volunteer, facilitate and project manage restoration-based activities. For example, he led the first railway heritage mapping and public outreach program between Oxford University UK and the Nigerian Railway. He is currently the official consultant to the Lagos State Government, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture on the upward review of the Cultural Heritage Preservation Law 2011 and the digitization of heritage sites, the first of its kind by any state government in Nigeria. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Architecture from Commonwealth University, Ota, Ogun State, and he also has a Master's in Urban and Regional Planning at the University of Lagos, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome, Ajala Mugbolahon. Our
Good afternoon. It's a great privilege and honor to be here. As per, I'm even representing another colleague of mine, Olumide, who couldn't make it because of another engagement. My background is very, very design-oriented, but another side of design. I have about 12 years experience in architectural design, but I focus more on public infrastructure, the large, the big spaces and sites. And that is because design is very broad, very multifaceted. And what I see is that with opportunities like this, we now are birthing the relationship between design and tech. So I'll be speaking about design thinking, the role of technology in design. I think this is a very broad topic as well, but I will try and do my own small, short experience into this. In this context, what I will be looking at is, next slide, please. My thoughts. Who are the consumers of today? What are the trends? How has that technology shaped our lives? How is technology changing the business of interior design? Important role of designers, the developer experience, technology, and its influence. And this is important because just before we started this event proper, we saw multiple videos of tech. Tech is everywhere. I have 2 phones, 1 laptop. On the table I'm in, everyone can account for 1 or 2 devices. It's really changing the economics. It's really changing how we see things. And I think the most fundamental thing that I've identified in my own career is the planning. I know that the MC was talking about it, and I would say that because that's where everything starts and stops. Things can go wrong, but at your planning phase, you can ring fence. So next slide, please. Please go back, I'm sorry. I wanted to just show this. This is a site called the J.K. Rowling Museum. I was part of the planning phase of it. I'm not the one doing the work. But what I want to tell you is that this top area is a design solution that was birthed after almost 5 years of thinking, rethinking. And they have applied something called the lean construction model, where when everything looked as if it wasn't going to work, something came about. And I think we all see it around Onikon area, right? This is design thinking. This is use of technology in our local context. Next slide, please. The primary questions, like I said, what is technology? Where are we headed? What are the gains and losses? And who's transforming whom? I also put our very infamous Lekki Koiling Bridge, because I've been in some of these meetings and I realized that the amount of design thinking that goes on is as intensive as any other thing you can think about. And I think we're all proud of this infrastructure. Next slide, please. Also, the Kingsway Tower. But more importantly, I will talk about this towards the end. This is a semblance of how the skyscraperscape or the skyscape of Lagos is changing. In the 80s, it was Lagos Island. But as you know that between the early 2000s and now, all of Ikoyi is changing. VI is changing. And this is a testament of design thinking as well. But these are the key considerations. How is it affecting? Physically, socially, financially, environmentally? But the question is, what is technology? It's broad, it's serious. How do we apply it? What is it? 3 things you cannot live without. I think I would want to ask Madam, 3 things you can't live without.
My phone. Technology, right? My laptop. 3 things. Yeah, internet, yeah.
Thank you very much. Let me ask Madam here. 3 things.
I think she said it all, really. Definitely my phone, internet, yeah, a laptop.
Thank you very much. The reason why that is a very strong answer now is that changes everything. The way we use tech in the last 5, 10, 15 years has changed the way we actually experience spaces. 20 years ago, I remember, I was asking a friend, how did we even kill time? There was no phone. You would just sit down. What would you do? I can't remember. I can't remember what I did to kill time. Yes, I was much younger, but I now realize that there was so much time on our hands that we didn't even do anything with. And that's important because as designers, that is the kind of thing we're battling with. What are we trying to ensure that the average space user, how are they engaging with their space? Key one. So tech-oriented. Next slide, please. It all starts at the home, right? But like I said, from my own approach to design is I apply all the thoughts, fashion design, interior design, mechanic. I do everything because it's not just about one space. It's about how people use that space. And this is just a depiction of how, as they always show us on social media now, a family is living. You know, you're on the phone, you're eating rice. You know, your time is being divided by you eating and the food. And then you can be at a dinner. For some reason, everybody is divided. That's critical for the designer because that is the real estate that we need to deal with. That's how we need to manage people. Next slide, please. You know, more jokes about that. You know, people nowadays, somebody's trying to, you know, is in a bad place and they're still doing. And then look at the way, the punishment now is Wi-Fi password. Really? You go to a space and you're like, no Wi-Fi. You want to kill us. Next slide, please. But this is impressive. Under my, like I said, I do a lot of work around heritage, and we've been trying to map how people use social media in Lagos, and we stumbled upon this last year. And I'll just go to the picture. Nigeria is top on the most usage of internet in the world. It's Nigeria. This is 2021. We have a real estate of 4 hours, 7 minutes. That is huge. It's a good thing because the question is, what are Nigerians doing online? That's the real question. But for the designer is, how am I taking advantage of this? Because this is productive time. You know, am I designing the next furniture? Am I designing the next house decor that will fit into this? Very important. You know, so this is something that guides my thinking in my work, and I believe that this is for, as designers, these are the kind of things we're looking at, that what's the data, what's the trend, like I said in the beginning. Next slide, please. So what is design anyways? There are many definitions, as you know, it's very broad, but I like the definition I have here. It says design is to design the design of a design. Do you guys agree? Design can be confusing, you know, depending on the brief. So it's a state of chaos. Somebody said that if you leave it to him, he will cut that design process away because you never finish designing. The only thing that actually saves everybody is a client has come, they want to collect their whatever, but there's always something to add. And I think I wanted to put this there because this is the state where a lot of us thinking, we're all naturally always doing, redoing, undoing, doing, you know. So design for me is to design the design of a design. You never finish it because it's ever evolving. Very important. Next slide, please. So what are our duties? You know, to create solutions that deliver the best integrated experience for customers as well as the right product fit. This is why I explained why design is. This is itself its own problem. But like we said, good design is to be innovative, is to be useful, aesthetic. You know, and Data Rams, as we all know, one of the leading thought leaders on design. To achieve this itself, you know, and anyone can testify on that, it's a daily struggle, you know, in terms of what material am I using, what's the price point, you know. So I really want to emphasize the chaotic process of design, you know, and seeing how that overlaps with technology. Next slide. Next slide, please. So, design thinking, and I will fixate more on the right side, which is ideate, prototype, evolve, identify, empathize, define. Or I go around again. Ideate, define, empathize, identify, evolve, prototype, back to, you know. This is how the average designer's mind is working. You know, so my point is I'm looking at it from a user perspective, from a, you know, human scale. This setting up this place in itself has taken a lot of thought, has taken this cycle for us to go around this. And this is what, if I'm to tell anybody how the average designer is thinking, this is it, you know. And if you go back to like a standard classroom explanation, what I've explained there is what is here, just has a lot of other extra load. Next slide. So technology driving. Technology is the new driver of interior design, and you know we can't say that enough. I was just talking to the team from Dulux, and then they showed me this really amazing technology where it would just scan any material and show you a color code. I was like, hey, because sometimes I get confused in color. You know, you see one color, you don't even know what it is. And on that spot, you begin to have headache. You know, the point is, that's a tool. And please, like I said, I would love for, We need it. People that are not working in Dulux, help us. Next slide, please. So, technology itself, the industry has caught up with it, and we're doing this. But there's something impressive. This thing, it looks like a real picture, right? This bedroom, it's a 3D rendering. See, she saw it and she's like, this thing's not. This is a 3D rendering by somebody in my office. When he did it, I just said, well, you're employed for as long as I work. Point is, this can pass for a real life picture. That is tech. And that is where we are going. We're going in a world where probably people will just, I don't even know, but the amount of applications outside now, and this was done in a tool called Lumion. Lumion, they use it for films, they use it for kind of things. Life has gotten easier, but it hasn't gotten easier as well because you still have to think of the color to use, the type of lighting to use, the type of interior to use. Somebody said he was a plant. You know, you have to think of, is that a sunflower, is that a lily, to set the mood, as it were. So this is the opportunity with tech. It aids us, but it doesn't solve it. It still lets the human factor. Well, I personally don't think technology replaces human beings, really, because there's still that human element that you have to put. You know, 10 of us here can be told to do one design. It will never come out the same. With the same client, with the same brief, same budget, everything. So the point is, technology, we have caught up with technology, but it is only going to enhance the creative cycle of a designer. Be it fashion, be it interior, be it whatever. Your job is to think that out. Next slide. So I would identify 3 things in terms of ideation, iteration, and fabrication. I think that these are like the 3 major silos whereby we as interior designers work, or designers largely. You think through the process, you begin to carry out some of the ideas, and then you finally begin to either build it, install it, or, you know. So what have I said that is, the way tech is influencing us, you know, largely is in the general concept of a smart home. And I can't say this enough. The video we saw earlier, for some of that saw it, clearly explained how a user was enjoying their tech. But in my mind, I was like, how many people actually were working behind the scene to let the amount was moving fast? I'm like, this was probably like 1,000 million people. You know, 1,000 million hours, as it were. And I'm saying that that is the overlap between the design thinker, the designer, and technology. It always ends up with a fine product like this. But what is our ideation? Next slide. This picture talks about a platform called Houzz, Houzz, and it's kind of like the Craigslist of for interior design ideation. So you can set it up on your phone or your tablet, and you create a design, right? The point is that it's really, the user interface is much, but this is not how designers can think, is my point. This is how we can interact. I can set up a platform and put her on it and say, Madam, I'm not clear on this, what do you think? In real time, we're seeing it. I come from a design background. When I was in school, we would have to draw every single line. It was slavery. Every single, and I'm not saying, with all due respect, I'm not being offensive, but it's that you would have to draw it, and you still have to explain what you drew, is the point. But with technology, you can see this in real time. I can set this up now, and we redesign this place in 20 to 30 odd ways. So the point is, the technology is helping us ideate better. Smart design tools, they're helping us ideate, and that is the fundamental. If you're not thinking it well, you won't get the final product. So first point, ideation. Next slide. Second point, iteration. We all know 3D printing. But what 3D printing helps us do so well is to actually feel the substance. Where I come from, when you want to set up a model or set up a design, 3D print it. You know, so automatically means that what we saw on that Houzz platform, we can automatically feel and see, okay, this is not how I want it. So the point is, technology is also enabling us iterate better. And iterate is a repeat function. And I think that's important for us to note, you know, the impact of tech in design. It helps us ideate, it helps us iterate. And iteration for us as designers, nobody wants it because nobody wants to spend money. You know, you're looking for the cheapest, smartest way out of it. But 3D printing has really helped. You know, next slide, please. And lastly is fabrication. This furniture here is an XXL chair made by a company called M2L. Now, what they have done is this chair is designed for mobile phone users and tablet users. The hard back is for blocking people from looking at your screen. As a doom body, it's for blocking people from looking at your screen. That table is movable to allow you either use a laptop or not. That is how technology is helping. People are fabricating to the detail. 20 years ago, someone like, what's this? What are you doing this? This is too much. But now, everybody knows that you have to block your screen sometimes. So the point is, technology is helping us fabricate better. And like I said, these are products already in the market. Hopefully, we begin to adapt them to local context. So the most important thing for me, in terms of telling us today, is technology has helped us ideate better, iterate better, and fabricate better. And I think in these three major silos, we kind of can solve our major design day-to-day. Next slide, please. How is it changing the interior and design application? Like I said, it's improving efficiency. It's improving health and standards for workers, building information modeling, which clearly helps you calculate your cost on the fly. You know, you're not waiting for a QS. Like, I personally always have to wait for a QS, but when we do models, we can calculate it and put it in Naira. That's the use of tech. And then drones, multi-purposing. You know, so the point is, in all these key things, you can identify a technology product or service that will do it. And, you know, in terms of iterate, this is a BIM model, as it were, where you are seeing the different spaces. You're thinking of the different spaces, you know, going forward. Next slide, please. So the key takeaways, you know, is that architecture design, the ecosystem, everything really has a place now. It's the creativity that we individually own. We can share the same tools. What would really make me work differently is my creativity, but the tools are there for everybody. It's economical. It is democratic. It's not about, I'm the only one. No, we all have access to it, and some of these tools are even free. So at the end of the day, it's really about how we can take use or make use of them. Next slide. Next slide, please. So in summary, I think it's more about being open-minded. Recognize that the battle isn't between the professional and technology, but rather the professional and their own mindset. So going back to the fundamental, tech has enabled, but what we need to do personally is now apply ourselves to tech. And like I will say in three things: explore new skills, new capabilities within you know, whatever role you have, gather as much data to learn from, you know, and then using that to better develop operations, and then have an open mindset, you know, challenge yourself to think bigger, better, and apply yourselves in ways that you can be more efficient. I think in all of this, for me, it's that, like I said, the work I do, so let me just speak about the work I do. I am doing something called a law review around the heritage sites of Lagos. Now, this law review focuses on 80 to about 100 buildings spread across, you know, different local government, etc. Now, the challenge is that these places, first of all, belong to certain families, belong to certain people, and nobody has forever thought about it that, oh, we all need to sit down together and look at what our common problems are. And then we came up with that. But we also said we need to actually even put this on a map so that anybody who wants to hang out any weekend can say, okay, where are the places in Lagos? And it might pop up, if not the first, if not the second or third. So what have we done? We have thought that process. We have also begun to look at technology. And hopefully by 2023, we will come online. But I'm saying this because I am applying these things to my own practice. But I'm scaling. I'm not saying, oh, everything is perfect, but it's that I realize the role of technology. I've seen the opportunity with it, and I'm able to deal with my clients and my customers. Last slide, please. So I leave you with the skyline of Ikoyi. I schooled in Ikoyi in the 90s, and when I was schooling, everything was small bungalows. I don't know if you know this building to my right here. Okay, it's a smart building, and that building itself is LEED standard. I think it's even the first major LED building in Nigeria. That's the Ikoyi Tower. Point is, in another 20 years, the skyline of Ikoyi will change. And it will be basically through the use of tech. Thank you very much.
Sure. No, please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Jalan. Yes, sir. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Please, let's put our hands together for him. You know, he said quite a lot. But I just want to ask this question. when it comes to design, he gave a definition of design. Yeah, so how did he define his definition of design?
He said design is design of the design.
Is it correct? Yeah, say it again so that I can hear. How did he define design?
He said design is the design of the design.
Nice. He just said 2 design. There are 4 designs. So how did he define anybody? How? Okay. Yeah. So Mr. Jala, let's listen. So how did he define the design?
Design is to design the design of a design.
Correct. Nice. So on behalf of Genisco, you've just won yourself a brand new iPhone 14. Yeah, the charger. It's not. All right. Then he talked about Dulux technology colors. That there's a technology that will show us color. Please, we need it because I'm confused too. In this Lagos, you just be hearing different kind of colors. You hear keke napep yellow, tomatoes red. There was even one that surprised me. They said Nigerian green. I was like, ah. So that means there's Colombia blue. All right. So what we want to do now is Q&A for Mr. Jala. All right. So if you have questions to ask him. Now, if you want to write it down, you can. But if you want to come forward to ask him the question, please, you can. Okay? All right? So that's what we're doing right now. But my own question, so you have to use the mic. Yeah. Yeah. So my own question before is, when dealing with a client, you're meeting this person for the first time. So which should I push more? Should I push the tech or should I push the whole interior design first to the person?
I think you need to push your design thinking, the interior design, because tech itself cannot answer anything. So, for example, you come and meet me and you want to change, you're the event organizer. You want to change this room to have a more earthly feel. I would not go and just bring tech to you, see tech. I would think about the kind of things you want. I would try and put myself in your shoes. I've asked you the questions. My goal is to then answer you and say, okay, these are the things you told me. These are the things and then I will use tech to enhance it. So, for example, use tech to draw it, design it, show you in a 3D VR. But I have to ensure that I am translating your ask into an answer. So, design first. Design, because design is thinking. It's thinking. We design every day. Like you said, you wanted to be a lock. That's serious design thinking. No, to be honest, because it's like, I want this person to leave my house now. I wish I was just a lock. So design first, tech after.
Thank you. So any other? All right.
Okay. Thank you, Ajala. Lovely presentation. I wanted to ask a question around, there were conversations you had around, urban regional, transformation. And for me, that's a huge pet peeve because if you see the skyline of maybe New York or any, top city, it's usually beautiful. Or if you pick Ibadan, if you pick Lagos, pick Nigeria, anywhere in Nigeria, it's horrible. Is there a major plan to improve the outlook of our major cities? You being someone very close to these kind of projects. Yeah.
Thank you for that question. I wouldn't say there's one major plan. It's very hard to, because there are different forces. There are plenty. But what I know is that people are taking stronger decisions every day. For example, I know that there is a current housing developer association that are speaking to how to reduce this. And so there's still silos. And I think technology can help there because there's a lot happening in different silos that probably there needs to be a social media platform or whatever to break it. So there isn't any concerted. All I will say is there's something which, if anybody wants, I can share. There's something called a development plan. So it's a book that governments do to just say, well, we want to do this in 30 years. So what they normally do is that when they do that, Lagos just did it on this year, 2022 to 2052. So they expect stakeholders like yourself to come and discuss, okay, this is what we want to do. We want to ensure that painting, this is, blah. So there's always like an open book or a platform to now allow different stakeholders. Like, the industry, the built heritage is too broad. So you can't just have one answer. You probably have pockets and pockets that overlap. So people are thinking of a broader umbrella, and maybe in the next few years, we probably will get better. But technology can help promote that. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Mr. Bobby has.
Thank you, Program Director. Mine is not really a question, but just to pick your thoughts on spaces, technology, as well as mental health. What are your thoughts? Is there any link between those, and what are the impacts, both negative and positive? And thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll just give a context. From some of the privilege of knowledge I have is so there's something called global public spaces, which is like the UN has brought together the major cities. Unfortunately, they've been waiting for us in this part of the world, and we're getting there. But global public spaces really talk about public health, safety, and security, and they talk about parks. So the goal is that the more you can produce more parks and encourage people to use it, it's one of the solutions to help. I will tell you for a fact that, we're snailing, but in this part also of Nigeria, there's also some concerted effort to push out more public spaces. And I think the question is always that public-private conversation. Some of these things are not immediate projects. So it's just years and years and time of conversation. But I know there's a conversation there around using parks to drive public spaces. I'm also aware that there are also things around using directional signs. I know that people have come up and talked about, let's use more directional signs to support people with disabilities, and also even for women, as it were. So there are conversations, like I said, there's just a lot of silos. But there's a large consideration of using parks to really engage mental health.
Thank you. The final.
My question may not necessarily revolve around tech, but it talks about you in public planning. And the gentleman over there had spoken about us having like beautiful skylines, and I totally agree with that. But I would say, are there laws in place for us to also protect our heritage buildings?
So, thank you for that question again. That's what I'm actually currently working on. So there is a law that just talks about the physical side of things, not the social or the intellectual side of things, which is what we are now trying to discuss with different stakeholders. I was just telling the organizer that, did you know that Badagry has about 50 dialects as a place? It's a multilingual place. So anybody that is born there has a chance of picking up, can be a polyglot by nature. But these are things that we do not consider. Now, what does that mean? It means that we need to start thinking of what is the value of spaces like that to the other places. So yes, we're working, but as things, we're scaling. But there is a concerted consideration to actually help revamp this using modern methods. For example, I mentioned digital mapping. So there are conversations. They're not quick briefs. They're really stakeholder conversations where people come together, families come together, and spend a lot of time discussing.
Thank you. Please can we put our hands together for Mr. Ajala? Thank you so much. Very well said. All right. Moving on, we are meant to have Access Bank come give us their speech at this point. They're one of the partners and sponsors of this conference. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's make a welcome Access Bank. Please, let's put our hands together for them as they come forward. Okay. All right. So we're going to have the Access Bank and also some of our sponsors also come for their speech. Okay. But what we want to do right now is for us to go on a break, but this time is for our tea break. So we're going to have soft music come up right now, and then we'll go for our tea break. But before we go on, while Mr. Jala was talking, one of, how will I put it now? These people are people dear to us. All right? She's also dear to the school, also dear to Mrs. Jennifer. She is the executive secretary to the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us recognize Mrs. Teju Abisoye. Please, let's put our hands together for her Yes, please, let's jam. She has to stand to give us a bow. Yeah, Mrs. Tejo. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to stand now, all right? And we'll have to move downwards for our tea break at this point. Thank you so much. So for about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be back here, and then we'll move on with the rest of the program. Thank you.
Classic.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you have to please put a round of applause for the one and only Mr. Christian Wiki. Please, let's put our hands together for him.
So what is Internet of Things? This is a network of connected smart devices that facilitates communication between devices and cloud, as well as communication between the devices themselves. We have a short video. I don't know if they could start it again. That we're going to show. So it's going to give you a mental view of what I'm talking about.
Someone's at the main door.
How far now?
I'm good, bro. What's up, man?
I'm fine now.
I'm at your house now. Are you home?
No, I'm not. I shouldn't be there right now, actually. Don't worry. Just press the lock, yeah? Yeah, I'll unlock the door for you.
Okay, alright, no problem.
Alright. Okay.
Please verify the base.
Hello. You are welcome to the Wilkes residence. Please make yourself more comfortable.
I have a guest.
Okay, Mr. Wilkie. I'll try make your guest comfortable.
Hey Google, play CNN.
Okay, Mr. Stephen. Enjoy the news on CNN. Mr. has arrived.
Welcome to Ritzman Smart Homes and Automations, the leaders in innovative smart home technologies. Why get a smart home? Well, a smart home gives you full control of the entire building. Have the power to orchestrate how, when, and what appliance should be powered on or off. At Ritzman, we take it up a notch. Use your voice to control everything in your home. With a voice command, everything can change to your preferred setting.
I'll make the living room comfortable. All your preferred appliances have been turned on. Have a good one.
Hey Google, play O'Shea by Kiss Daniel on ceiling speakers.
Got it. O'Shea, official lyric video from YouTube Music. Playing on ceiling speaker.
With your voice, you can request for any music or playlist to be played in any room. Our premium voice automated multi-room audio has a powerful amplifier of about 8,000 watts and can be controlled via your phone, smart dashboards, and ultimately your voice.
The house is hot.
I'm sorry you feel warm. I'll turn on the air conditioners so the house cools down. I'll close the curtains so the house cools faster.
Alright. Pause living ceiling speakers. Turn on the dining room.
Alright, turning on 3 switches.
Yeah.
So I can also predict the blinds are also automated as well.
Yeah, the blinds are also automated. Open the dining curtains.
We can go.
So now you can see how, especially places that have a lot of glass entrances, it's very important.
Come and join me, sing hallelujah. Jehovah Jireh has done me well. Come and join me, sing hallelujah. Hey. Jehovah Jireh has done me well.
About the smart mirror.
So this is a smart mirror. So from this mirror, You can do so many things. Let's.
Yeah.
You can also control the house from.
I think I see the room is the frozen bath.
Just watch this now.
Okay. Wow.
There you go.
So with the tap of a button,
Yes,
you can get the froze as well.
So you also have a routine like you want to have a bath. So let me just set that up.
Okay, I'll set up the bathroom for you.
So turn on the lights, turn on
The
the water
pressure
heater.
pump will be turned on so you can have
So
your bath.
it freezes it, so
Yes.
you know what it
The
comes
water heater would be on for about 20 minutes so your
Wow.
water is
Let's go
warm.
ahead.
It's going, guys.
So it starts
The towel
playing
warmer would be turned on.
cool
So
music.
your
Cool
towel is
music.
warm
So
and
you have a
dry.
bath for 1 hour now.
when
You
you're
can tell me to
showering.
turn off the music when you are done bathing.
Okay.
Do have a nice day.
So you have some things to say about this.
Yeah.
Ritzman Smart Homes and Automations. The bridge between tech and luxury.
Awesome. So I think that just showed a little insight of kind of what we do. Thank you. So I will try to, not to bore you guys into the tech aspect of it. I will just try to tell you what are the different things that you saw, put together. So let's break down them into sections. So you have security, lighting, comfort, appliance, smart appliances, sound, and energy savings. So we'll start with security. With security, you have your smart doorbell. So it's a kind of doorbell where it's like facial recognition. You are able to see who is at the door from anywhere in the world. You are able to talk to the person who is at the door from anywhere in your world. In the car, you're able to talk to the person who's at the door. And then the smart cameras. So with smart cameras, in terms of IoT, you are able to communicate through the cameras, right? They have motion sensing, they have car sensing functions, and then through your phone, you see everything at the go, you communicate through the house, you see them on your tablets, and other lots. So a client basically, just a case scenario, one of our clients installed these cameras I'm talking about, and they were able, when they traveled, the maid and the driver didn't know that those kind of systems were there. So in the kitchen, while she was just watching via her phone, she could hear them talking about her and all the things they were going to do. So it was kind of like opened her eyes to the kind of people she had in her house, right? So those were the kind of ways that, and she didn't know she was able to do that. So what she did was she just, from her phone, clipped it out and sent it to me, sent it to her husband, right? And see the kind of people we have in our house. Before you knew, they took them out. So those are the kind of ways you can use smart technology to help you, all right? So aside from the cameras, you have the smart lock. So the smart lock is, you have different ways to access your homes. You can use your fingerprint, you can use your codes, you can use your phone to unlock the door from anywhere in the world. You can have access to the day-to-day happenings of your door. So who entered, what time did they enter, what lock, who unlocked the door at this particular time. It gives you full access to your home, and you can never be locked out. So the battery lasts for about 6 months to a year. And then you also have a manual emergency key, just in case, right? Let's say you travel for 2 years and you don't, the battery dies out, right? So you still have that manual method of going through the door. Aside from that, you have your smart security systems. So the smart security system works in the smart home with all the sensors. It works with the door lock. It works with the fire system. It works with the smart gas valve. So the way all this works is that once it detects intrusion through the windows or your doors, right? It immediately triggers the security system, and then it calls everybody attached to that security system. So you have about 5 numbers. So those numbers in hierarchy are going to be called. Let's say you have an estate security, right? And while you are sleeping, some burglars just bust the window open, right? So immediately that security system knows that there's been an intrusion, right? At that particular time that it was armed. So what it's going to do, it's going to call your estate security. First, it will give a broad text message to everybody that's on that platform. And then in hierarchy, let's say number 1 is my wife. Number 2, husband. Number 3, security system. So it just doesn't call who is not supposed to call first. At least some people have been tried to reach, right? And then it just does that. So that has helped a lot in terms of security. Knowing how Nigeria is nowadays, most people are actually trying to find ways to increase the securities within their home, right? In terms of your cameras, in terms of your security systems, and fire systems. So the smart fire system, right, what it does is that once it detects fire, right, it just automatically opens all the blinds in the house, all the curtains. It automatically opens the curtains in the house, turns on all the lights for illumination, right, and then shuts off the gas valve. So we have a smart gas valve that will be attached to your gas in the kitchen, right? So once the smart security, the smart fire sensor is triggered, right, all those things will start to happen, as well as it communicating to your phone, wherever you are in the world. So it lets you know at this particular time there's fire happening in the kitchen or in the living room or in somewhere else. So it covers gas leak, it covers smoke detection and CO2. So some people don't know how harmful this thing is till it happens to someone close to you, right? So we try to prevent, it's a preventive measure, right? So you try to prevent it from happening, so that you can at least control it. So aside from that, the smart home, we have smart ecosystem. So everybody is aware of Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. It's not just Alexa. There are a lot more smart ecosystems that people are used to nowadays, especially in Nigeria. We have the Google Assistant ecosystem. You have the HomeKit, which is by Apple, and you also have Alexa, which is by Amazon. So what we do in Ritzman, we don't just try to be of like Alexa or Google, turn on the lights, and that's all what it's just going to do. Turn on the AC, turn on the TV, because you just find yourself saying, Alexa, turn on, Alexa, turn on, Alexa, turn on, right? So that is very inefficient. So what we try to do is we try to do multiple tasks with just one command. So let's say you wake up in the morning and you have a specific routine in your house that you want certain things in your house to happen. Let's say you want the water heater to come on and to be at a particular temperature, or you want the lights in a particular room to come on, or you want the staircase lighting to come on, or you want your ACs to go to a particular temperature when you say good morning, right? So these are very easy to do. All you just give is that phrase, right? Command phrase, and you say, hey Google, good morning. So what you do is to open the curtains, it will open the lights, it will turn on the lights, dim it on. If you don't want the lights to be bright when you just turn on first thing in the morning, it can gradually dim on. It's in the sense that in the space of 10 minutes, in the space of 30 minutes, your lights will go from 10% to 100%. So the smart home, you are able to channel the smart home to the way you want your home to act for you, right? It opens up a lot more things, also in relation to interior design. So what that does, it gives, we've worked with quite a number of interior designers, right? What we do, what it actually does is it brings life into whatever design they've put in place in the house. So aside from your routine, we try to set different modes in the house. So you kind of like what you saw in this video, you have morning mode, evening mode, day mode, night mode, and eco mode. So your morning mode is when in the morning you want some lights to be on, you want your AC to be on, or you don't want your AC to be on, right? Different things you want to happen. That mode will be set. And they are set with timelines. So let's say from 6 to 10 in the morning, this is how I want the house to be. From 10 to 1 o'clock, that will be day mode. So what happens in the day mode, it shuts off all your lights. This is without you doing anything. It shuts off all your lights. It shuts off all your appliances that you don't need to be turned on, and things like that. Opens up the blinds just in case that's what you want. So we also give dynamic lighting. So this lighting in hallways, your staircase, once you approach, they have motion sensors. Once you approach them, the lights automatically come on and highlight wherever the trajectory is. So let's say down the hallway, the lights can just flow down that way. They have different modes to them. So there's the flow light and there's the dynamic staircase, which you can see right here. So there are some other appliances that we have, like your smart mirrors, your smart vacuum cleaners, the car link, kind of what you saw in the beginning of the video, where I was communicating with the person in the house through the car. You have your smart washing machines, you have your smart fridges. So all these are able to talk with each other, right? To make you be able to set the house the way you want it to be at a particular time. So you can control your house through your phone, control your house with your voice, and you can set the house to be able to act the way you want it to be. So the house is able to know by itself at this particular time or at this particular place, do this, right? So aside from appliances, we also have smart sound. So with the smart sound, you are able to go to a space and say the kind of music you want to start playing. So let's say I wake up in the morning, I want Johnny Depp or Luther Vandross to start playing on the sound system. So I can set it in a way that every morning, right, I have a playlist. Once it's 9 o'clock, start playing this music on a light tone, right? That is able to happen. I can have my own personal playlist, attach it to the system. Most clients like Christian music in the morning, so that's what we always put for them. So in the morning, especially on Sundays, around the house, you just start hearing Christian music, right? It won't be loud, but it'll just be low tone. And then most people nowadays, you see most people wanting to get smart homes because it's an increasing need for most homes. Most people are now getting to know more about home automation. It's not the way it was before. Before it was quite very expensive to get. That's why it wasn't as exposed as it is now. But now it's getting cheaper by the day due to new innovations in technology. So technology is ever evolving and getting cheaper, right? So just like your smartphone, quite a number of years back, nobody was able to get a smartphone. If you had a smartphone, it was a luxury item, right? So we're at that phase now in home automation where home automation is kind of like a luxury item, right? Let's be frank. But you notice that as the year goes by, it's getting cheaper for people. Before you had to wire your entire home, tear down walls, but now you can just get smart switches and automate a particular space without cracking down or breaking the bank, right? So all these things are very easy to use. Old people now, grandmas and grandpas, actually use them with their phones. I have a number of aged clients that actually, because now they are kind of retired, so they don't have a lot of multis. So they play with their homes a lot. And you find out that they are always trying to fiddle with things that they are not supposed to fiddle with. Oh, they will not call us. Oh, please, I don't know. I think I've spoiled my ceiling, the ceiling speakers. How do I put it back? And it's a very easy walkthrough. So if old people are able to fix these things by themselves, right, it's very easy for us young people. We use our phones to do many things. Most people don't even carry laptops nowadays. You use your phone to literally do everything you have to do. So imagine you have the full control of your home in the palm of your hands. Now, some people will think, okay, isn't that too much access to my home, right, in terms of security, cyber security? So there are different measures that have been taken, right, while all these innovative hardwares have been coming up. So you have security measures taken in terms of your internet, in terms of your passwords, in terms of creating different layers of security so that it's not easy for any hacker or anybody to come just break into your home. So as advice to most people, when I give most clients, like when you see different ads and somebody tells you you've won 50 billion naira, right? Please press this. to claim your prize. It's best you don't press that thing, because what you are doing is giving the hacker access to your home. Not to your home, basically, to your phone, right? So they don't, and what we do is that we put multiple passwords that you have to break through, right? So let's say by luck, they break through one. You still have like 3 more to go. You understand? So it's just the same way with your phone, you have your bank app, right? And then somebody breaks into your phone. It will take them a while to try and hack into your bank app. Exact same thing with a smart home. But we create multiple layers. So let me not bore you guys too much. There are other things that we do that can happen in your home, your smart generators. So smart generators, I'm in my bedroom. I want to turn on the gen. All I do is, hey, Google, turn on the gen. The generator starts working. When you have an inverter system, a smart inverter system, the smart inverter system automatically is able to, when light comes on, it automatically changes it. But then some people want to be able to manage at what particular time do they use their inverter systems, and at what particular time do they use their generators. So the house is able to do all these by themselves without you even calling the gate man or calling somebody to have an effect towards that effect. So let's say during the day, the house should just totally run on solar inverters, regardless of even if they bring the lights. Because nowadays, meters, they actually take a lot of money. So people don't even want to use they want to use NEPA. All they want to use, I've bought solar inverter. I want to use solar inverter during the day. So we can set that regardless even if there's light or not. All through the day, your house is running on inverters. During the evenings, certain lights are on, to manage the consumption of your home. So energy saving, the smart home is top number one. You're able to control what is on. So people have guests over and they stay in the room. They leave the water heater on for the longest time. So what you just do is that you're able to see all the things that are on in your house through your phone app. You're able to see all the ACs that are on. You're able to select which you want on or off. So you have full control of your home. So smart home in Nigeria is ever evolving, as I said. Before you know it, everybody it's not something that we should shy away from, all right? Everybody should try and add it in some way or form. And the funny thing is, when you find out somebody you give them a smart switch, and they see how it works for them, you find out that they always want to be able to do everything in their house. They start from, they say, oh, why don't you just add this? Oh, why don't you just add, before you know, you have a full smart home. So we have different packages to, meet all sorts of clients in case, they want to get it. So I think that's what, okay, baby. Thank you.
Please just put our hands together for him. Just hold on, Mr. Christian. Yeah. When they were playing that video, I was just praying that, God, I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller. And that video was, Then, so this is where we get to ask Mr. Christian's question, okay? And, yeah, so I think Deluxe is going to go first because, I have a question. Because where I'm coming from Ibadan. I'm an Ibadan person. Now, an Ibadan man comes to my house. And he knocks the door, and I look at him from the screen, and I say, the door is open, enter. Me, I know what I'm saying. Oh. Yeah, so he's asking his first.
Yes. Sorry, I'm a marketeer, so I ask a lot of questions. One thing, what's the plan B? So you've talked about fire and some other things. So how about the flood? In the event of a flood, how will the home be able to, is there a fail-safe? Is there something that can, shut down everything, shut out everything, and go to manual, where I can manually take a fire extinguisher or something? So is there a fail-safe? And I don't know, maybe that's a larger conversation. You touched on it, on how we can make this available for a lot more people. maybe not people in the lower segments, but A, B, C1, you know, those segments. That's because people are looking towards these solutions,
Yeah.
but it's a bit expensive for some people. So yeah, those are my questions. Yeah.
That's awesome. So your first question in terms of flood. So we have number of sensors in the house, right? You have a flood sensor. So it's a water leak sensor, not even a flood sensor. Let's put a water leak sensor. So when we put water leak sensors in homes, normally we put them in the bathrooms, right? Because close to where the WC is. Because over time, some people tend to forget to close, especially when they travel. Day to day, you know what's happening in your house, right? Because you enter that space quite a lot. So when they travel, they tend to forget to close the valve, right? So we have a sensor, a water leak sensor that will be placed on the floor, right? You won't even see it. So what it does is that once it detects a large volume of water above 2 inches, it automatically triggers the security system. So it triggers the security system. That security system inadvertently calls your phone, letting you know that something is happening in the house. Okay, then you go to your app. What's happening in the house? You see it, flood sensor in master bedroom toilet. You already know that, okay, that's it. So some people put, like in Lekki, rain will fall. You are scared, oh my God, is my house under the water, right? So they have sensors that you can place in strategic locations. So first places to get flooded is your living room, right? So you have one close to probably your TV console. Once it happens, it triggers your phone. So in terms of accessibility to smart homes, yes, they are expensive, right? But then we have entry-level packages for people that want to get in. So let's say as from 200,000 to 400,000 to 500,000, right? Now, what you find out is that, okay, I just want to automate my living room. I don't want to automate everywhere in my house, all right? We can give you some smart switches, give you a smart door lock, give you a smart IR blaster. So in that way, you have, like, you are able to join the whole smart home and see what's happening in your house. So for us, what we can do is to, give discounts and try and make it more accessible to people, regardless of it being quite expensive. Yeah.
All right, so do we have any other question? All right. All right, thank you. So that will be all, Mr. Christian. Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Christian Wiki. Thank you so much. Can't spend a lot of money like this in my house. I'm flawed. I know the God I'm serving can never happen. Never. So is Access Bank ready for us now? All right. Yeah, so let's have Access Bank come talk to us briefly. Access Bank, are we ready? All right. Do we have? So please, let's put our hands together for Access Bank. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ouch. I'm sorry for shouting into your ears. Good afternoon. My name is Olubusola. I work with Access Bank W Initiative. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm here to give us a brief about what Access Bank has under the W Initiative. So in 2014, Access Bank launched a program called the W Initiative, and it's targeted at women. Do I have anybody here that's ever heard about W Initiative, Access Bank? Can I see by show of hands? Okay, I see. Oh, right, I see hand. Okay, of course, Andrew is a part of the family, so we're not going to, I'm not counting Andrew. Right, so there are quite a number of people. So at W, really, what we do is, we're not a product, so we don't say, come and open a W account as a woman. What we offer you is more like a proposition to support your banking relationship that you have with Access Bank as a woman. And with the W Initiative, we've been able to do support for women in business and other segments. Right, thank you so much. So for the W initiative, we've been able to cater to women across different segments, ranging from the women in business, which I believe a lot of the interior designers here fall under, the young professionals, which of course a lot of interior designers are professionals. And then we have what we call the Gen Z, and we also have the W and family and the W quintessential women. Basically, these are women that we have identified as role models to young entrepreneurs and young women coming up in the system. So Access Bank is using these focus segments to be able to cater to your financial needs and non-financial needs. And what we do under the W initiative is we identify areas that women may have challenges. Most especially if you hear a bank, really, what comes to mind? If you hear a bank, what comes to mind? Money, right? Exactly. So as a bank, I should be able to cater to my customers' financial needs. And for W, what we do is we do it in such a way that women have convenient banking. So you have access to finance at discounted rates for those that are in business. And for professionals, you have access to our non-financial programs like our capacity building sessions and trainings. I will dwell more on our financials because I feel like that's what a number of people here will want to hear. So for a woman in business, as long as you have been in business for at least a year, you have the opportunity to access funding from Access Bank for as low as 15%. Some people will still say 15% is high, it's double digits. But trust me, right now in the markets, I don't know if we have business people here that have access to loans. Does anybody want to just give me an idea what your rates will be like right now? 23, 18. Right. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that feedback. So Access Bank is doing this to ensure that women can access funding and at affordable rates with flexible collateral requirements. So you can take funding up to 10 million naira without a collateral. And that funding can be used for both business expansion, asset acquisition, and working capital. And you have the opportunity to repay your loan over 36 months. The idea is not to give you funding that would crumble your business, but to help you access funding that would make it flexible for you as a woman in business to repay. And 15% is not flat. It's actually a per annum charge, so it's actually on reducing balance. For people that want to do a rough calculation, if you take 1 million naira, you expect that you pay 150,000 at the end of the tenure, right? But on a reducing balance method, you would not pay up to 150,000 as the interest that you will have to repay on that loan because you're only charged on the outstanding balance that you have on your loan. The reason we have done this is because women like to channel their finances into so many things. So we have a lot of women that are serial entrepreneurs, multiple entrepreneurs, and they have multiple businesses that they're running. So the idea is to make it very flexible for you to channel your cash flow and your business capital in such a way that it is still productive for you as a business person. And that particular product is what we call the W Power Loan. So if you have a business that you have registered for at least 1 year, and you've been in that business for that period of a year, and you have evidence to show that your finances, no, we don't expect you to go and bring your grandfather's land. Because some people are expecting in their mind that, okay, this girl, just go to the main conversation. We do not require collateral for 10 million naira facilities. But if you're going above 10 million is when we would require you to bring something of some sort to support your request. And those things can include your assets, if you're a producer or a manufacturer of interior design materials, or if you're even, I don't know, basically, the idea is if you're a business person and you're into manufacturing, we can use your assets as collateral. For 10 million naira, all you just be required to provide is a guarantor. And okay, in my mind, you're saying guarantor. What is my guarantor required to provide? I'm not asking your guarantor to bring their property as well. I just need somebody that can stand and show that you have a strong belief in the business that is taking my loan. So your guarantor must either be a salary earner or a business owner like you that has capacity to say. So the idea of a guarantor really is, I want to be sure that if you as a business person can repay my loan, I have a recourse to your guarantor, which is someone that is guaranteeing. Basically, a guarantor is, I guarantee to pay this money if the primary obligor is unable to pay. So I need to be comfortable as a bank to see that your guarantor has some form of income, cash flow, to support your loan request. And on the W Power loan, businesses can access as much as 100 million for business purposes, expansion, asset acquisition, and working capital. For the tenor, I already mentioned that you can repay for as much as 36 months. And we also have something we recently added on, which we've called the W Power Loan Vehicle Loan. It's a financing scheme that is really targeted at businesses that want to acquire assets for logistics. So you need a truck, you need a delivery van, and the likes. You can access funding under the W Power Vehicle Loan to buy assets like trucks, delivery vans, cars, automobiles, anything. And it could be both new and pre-owned. So, I mean, fairly used or brand new vehicles. And this is at 15% as well, and you can repay over a period of 4 years. The idea is not to scare the women in the room, because I see your faces and like, I'm not interested. I'm like, this is really high for me. It's not really about you taking a loan for us at the W Initiative. It's about you identifying the purpose that you really require or the need that you need for your business, and then if it's financing that you require, then we will bring it on board for you. And I mentioned earlier that we don't just cater to your financial needs, we also cater to your non-financial needs, where we are able to bring on board capacity building for businesses. I know almost everybody in here is very learned, and you, of course, experts in your various fields. But, you know, there's always the required business skill that every person needs, irrespective of the expertise that you have in the field that you are. So what we do at W is to cater to that business skill need through our capacity building trainings under the W Academy. So we have a dedicated academy that caters to capacity building for our female customers. And not just for businesses, women, of course. We are cut across professionals, young professionals. We also have the Gen Z, that's the young group that is just coming up, and then we are creating that opportunity for you to be able to access funding and access training for your business purposes. And we also have what we call the Maternal Health Service Support Scheme. This is basically for women that are on the quest to access funding for healthcare procedures. You want to undergo an IVF procedure. You want to, basically the quest for good health. The WMHSS loan is available to you, and you can access that fund at 14% for yourself. So a woman can access this fund, but her husband can apply for her, her family member can apply for her, any third party can apply on behalf of the woman, as long as the beneficiary of the facility is a woman, towards the procedures that we have. I'm sorry, I didn't ask how many minutes do I have, so I'm sure that I'm speaking within the time frame. I could go on. All right, very well, thank you. The other things I would like to speak to more especially is what we have under the W Academy. The W Academy, like I mentioned, is the home that caters to everything that has to do with our non-financials. So we have a program we call the Womenpreneur Pitch-a-thon program, and that program caters to our grant offerings for businesses. So if you have a business and you're a woman and you feel your business is making some form of social impact, the Womenpreneur Pitch-a-thon is the go-to program for you, where you are able to access a grant of up to 5 million naira as a businesswoman, and you'll be getting a free mini MBA program by the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank that is being administered through Access Bank. So you're not just getting grants, but you're also getting business skills that you need as a business person. We have what we've also called the W Webinar Series. Now, the month of October for us at W is actually been our health month, and it's been an opportunity for us to really preach the gospel about living healthy and ensuring that you know the right information about different health issues. So we've been speaking on things like breast cancer, cervical cancer, diabetes, chronic diseases, nutrition, weight management, basically everything that you need as a person or as an individual, not to the women alone now in the room. This is available to everyone, you know, that you access that kind of skill and training and information and knowledge about your health. The last thing I'll speak to before we now take questions is for the W initiative, like I keep emphasizing, it's not about the products or it's not about the business gain to the bank, but it's about how the businesses have been impacted. And I can say without any doubt that we've been able to impact well over 100,000 women since the product and this initiative has started. And we are doing this not because we are boastful about it, but because we know that there's something right that we're doing. And that is even one of the reasons why we are looking to get into partnerships with IDAN, to see how we can best improve the relationships and the benefits that women can get from us as a bank. So if there's any specific thing that you know that IDAN requires from a bank like Access Bank, we're always willing and open to hear from you. And that's why I said the W initiative is catering to women in that space. Men in the room, please don't lose us. Don't leave us. We are with you. The opportunity to access a loan as a businessman is also available to you under the W initiative, as long as you have a woman involved in your business. So somebody says, oh God, why do you have to bring this woman clause? It's because W is actually catered for women, and we want to be able to bring and expand our reach to the women's markets. We know that a lot of things that we do in the interior design business is actually focused at women. Who really does the household designing? The man? I want a chorus answer. Mostly the women. No, so men like Andrew are very special, you know. We can't take them out of our lives, but it's actually 80% of the women that do the work of designing and, you know, creating a structure in the house. And then, of course, we get to the men to fund it. No offense to you. We know that, you know, you love us so much. However, you know, speaking to all of that, that's why the W initiative is here today, to hear and to give to you what we have. And then if there's any other way that you feel the bank can support you as an association, as a business person, please feel free to reach out to us or even ask your questions now as I wrap up. And after the question and answer session, you could also have a one-on-one engagement with us afterwards, just to get an understanding to what we do at W. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day. Do we have questions?
Please, do we have questions? Questions for Access Bank.
All right, there's a question. I'm sorry, before you ask your question, another thing we notice in women, right, because we've worked with women over time, is women typically always just like to stay in their space. I will day my lane, like the Nigerian slang will be, and I will grow my business with the little cash flow that I have. But you know, one thing that the men have as an edge over us is that men are risk takers. Not as much as women. I'm not forcing now. This is not me forcing you to take a loan, because even before you access a loan from any bank, now this is not speaking to Access Bank alone, due diligence needs to be done on the business. But you need to ensure that for your business to grow, you need access to funds, you need access to finance. So please, no question whatsoever is irrelevant and is useless. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Access Bank. Okay, so I get that you're saying the W loan is not as stressful. And we don't have to bring our grandmother's blood or grandfather's blood. Now, the question is, the process of the loan, it's one thing to take a loan, which is fine. Yeah. The processing duration, because I find that sometimes with banks, by the time the loan is being processed, the problem has killed you, or you have solved the problem.
Right.
So are we saying that for us, you're able to understand the needs as it's happening and work on it like fast? Yeah, that's
yeah, very well. Thank you very, very much for that question. I forgot to mention that because I wanted to really get to the questions, because I like to hear from everyone. The truth is, if you have money and you cannot access it, then it's almost useless. Very true. Accessibility is definitely guaranteed in terms of processing. the average timeline that you would require for your loan to be processed. Now, this is when all documents required are available. It's a minimum of 3 weeks. And 3 weeks because at times there could be situations where you submit your document. So I've experienced a situation where a woman applies for a loan, and at the point of doing a credit check on her, we find out that she had a loan in another bank that she had not paid, and it became a bad loan. Automatically, that shows that you are not credit worthy, and that's one of the challenges that has affected women in taking loans. So because you're unable to even monitor your credit history, now it could even be as little as not even taking a loan. It could be as little as not paying that 100 naira COT on that account. It's actually a red flag. Now, this is not only to Access Bank. This is across the financial institution. That's why you ensure that as a business person, you find a right bank partner that gives you the kind of products that is easy to manage. So you're not even forgetting that you haven't paid a certain amount in your accounts that may cause a challenge in future, right? In terms of documents, I will list some of the major documents that you require. Your 12 months bank statements, 12 months with any bank. You don't need to be banking with Access Bank right now before you can access the W Power loan. You need to also be able to provide to me your CAC, of course, that your business has been registered for at least a year. And with those 2 documents, I'm able to let you know firsthand, even before you open an account with me, how much you can get for whatever purpose. Then I now start your loan application, where I tell you that I need to see what you currently do as a business person, which of course your business profile will show me, and I will do a visit to your business location to ensure that this business is actually running, because we have businesses that are not running and then they could say, you know, this is my business. Pictures are very deceptive. So I do a visitation to your location and your account officer starts your process. In 2 weeks, offer letter is given to your customer. Now, this is when all your documents, including your guarantor's documents. So what is required from your guarantor? Your guarantor is required to provide what we call the personal statement of net worth. I want to see what your guarantor is worth for me to be able to give you that loan. It's all documentary evidence, really. And then I need to see the statement of account from your guarantor to prove that this person is actually what they are. With those documents and your own documents, I go ahead to seek an approval for you as a business person. In 2 weeks, you obtain your offer letter, you sign off, and you provide documents ready to complete disbursement, which is really the statement of guarantee of net worth from your guarantor, like I mentioned. But we like to ensure that these documents are available even before you sign your offer letter, so it doesn't cause bottlenecks at the point of disbursement. And your guarantor would also be required to present a minimum of 2 checks, undated checks, just to be sure that if for any reason your loan goes bad, you've already guaranteed that I'm taking on this person's loan, I will be able to crystallize my money from you.
All right, thank you. And just one more question. Is it okay for someone's husband to guarantee them? Because I find that banks will say no. And for me, I feel someone's husband is the best person, so that if the wife does not pay, just go and hold
You're
him.
spot on, exactly.
Wow.
But we've had situations, and let me explain why some
boyfriend.
banks... Okay, so we prefer a whole lot that the business guarantor is actually somebody that knows the person. If you go and bring a third party and then I go to meet that person, I'm like, and the person can meet up with me and say, I don't even know who this person I guaranteed. I just gave them documents because they needed my help. But if you go with somebody that is family or related to this person, you have a stronger hold on this person. However, the husband or the spouse has to have another source of income separate from the one that I am funding. So if your husband is an interior designer, he has to provide another business line or another business account that will support his guaranteeing the loan. So, no offense, so husbands, you know, and wives, we've seen some people that have jackpot and took loans, and husband and wife, everybody disappeared. So that may be some of the reasons why some banks may not want to have that kind of closeness. But for us, it's actually a better option. Right. Okay, any more questions? All right. Thank you so much. If you have more questions, more inquiries about everything I have spoken about today, one other thing I wanted to mention, for us to get more information about what the W is doing, please feel free to follow us on all social media platforms at the W Community. It's beneficial to all, so men, women in the room, please follow us, W Community on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to get first-hand information of what we're doing for women. Thank you very much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.
Please let's put our hands together for Access Bank. Thank you so much. All right. So we've heard more about finances. We've heard more about tech. And we're still going to talk more as we move on with the conference. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have about 2 talks before we then go to the panel section. But I want to bring up this next company. You know, I'm definitely sure they're also ready for us. I've known them for decades, and trust me, their consistency in the market is big. How they've broken the market and they're still relevant, trust me, this is one product that has never failed if we do our accounting right. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to talk to us for about 10 to 15 minutes, please let's put our hands together for Dulux Paints. Please let's put our hands together for them. Please let's put our hands together for Dulux Paints. Since my primary school, okay.
Yeah, I know, I get that a lot. Before I even joined Dulux, I think my first job, I think I was a bit depressed, or like, yeah, I was a bit depressed. So I wanted to lighten up my space, right? So I went to a Dulux Color Center, talked to a consultant, talked to me about colors that would improve my space. What was making me depressed is that every year my parents died in short succession. So every year it used to give me issues, but I'm fine now. Yes, so my name is Ogbonna. I'm the digital brand manager for Dulux, Nigeria. But I work for CAP, which is the mother company. And for me, it's such a great privilege to be among great minds in the design space. And I'll say something. The people in this room are directly responsible for creating an outlook in this ecosystem, in this Nigerian ecosystem. We are responsible for setting the trends. We are responsible for bringing, solutions to our customers, and they want those solutions. Trust me, we have a very, very savvy audience of customers that we service. And when you bring those solutions, you will see that there are people that will pick up on them. And that's our mindset at Dulux. We're always thinking about the customer and thinking about what kind of products do we present to the customer that can perform so many functional benefits for the customer. And I'm going to talk about Easy Care in a bit. Now, I believe, and we say this a lot in our strategy sessions, and I say this a lot, that if we do not provide products that bring other functional benefits to customers, we might as well be selling watercolor. But the Dulux product must outperform. It must outperform every other thing in the market. And I know we've had all these conversations about price, but the customer, and I'll use one story. There was a customer that called, so I oversee the e-commerce platform, so I'm not the one that manages it, but I kind of see everything that happens there. I manage it, but there's someone that is on the steering wheel. However, there was a customer that called in, or that ordered a product, right? And she wanted to paint the country home, and he hadn't painted for 2 years, right? And she had already sent the painter ahead to go and quote and cost. But the painter reached her back and said, "Ma'am, we don't need to paint. I just got to the house, I cleaned up the whole space, and it's as good as new." And that took out a whole cost of about $1 million plus, because she wanted to do a whole exterior, interior. So this is about in 2 years. She has not come back. This is 2 years ago. She's not going to come back in about 3 years, 4 years, maybe by the 5th year if she feels like it. In that time, anyone that uses a product that is not as good will have bought paint almost 4 or 5 times or even more. Right? So it's the onus of us, it's our mindset that we must always churn out products that perform functional benefits. And that's why we brought Easy Care. So Easy Care is washable matte paint. So we in the Nigerian market, everyone is so conversant with satin. Satin is that shiny paint. It has a very high sheen. So everyone likes shiny stuff. But there are some people, I'm sure, Jenny, some of your customers, especially a lot of high-value customers, they want matte that is subtle, that doesn't shout, that is minimalist, right? But that matte needs to perform, just like satin. So we bought matte that is 20 times tougher than conventional matte paint. What does it mean? If there's a stain on the wall, and I'll talk about the technology behind Easy Care. It comes with stain resist technology. So if you've ever seen the back of a dock, how water is easily repelled off a dock's back, that is the technology. So when water comes on normal matte paint, it soaks it in, but for Easy Care, it repels it. So everything falls off like water off a dock's back. I was trying to download the demo video so I could show you about all the kind of spills. So I've tested it so much in the lab. I love this product because I've interacted with it so much. And I've tested it. We've done a demo for 1,000 households. So mothers, there were about 700 mothers in the room and about 300 fathers. Just about a month plus ago. And everyone, when they saw that demo, everyone became a believer. And we're talking about soup stains, egusi, I don't know, tell me your my favorite is afang. But egusi, afang, okra, anything, put it on that wall, we took it out. So we had conventional matte paints. We didn't tell we didn't say who the competitor was. Then we brought Dulux Easy Care. So they put egusi on there, they put stew there. We put non-permanent marker, and it cleaned it off easily, and with no more watermarks. So this is what the stain resist technology does. It is scuff resistant, and this used to be a pet peeve for me, like in my study, because I'm always leaning back. Now maybe I have an epiphany. I'm always leaning back. I'm always, I'm very, very mobile in my study. So there were a lot of scuff stains at the back where my seat used to stay, and that's what Easy Care does. It's scuff resistant. It's very, very viscous, that if you scratch any furniture, maybe we're trying to move around furniture in the space, it's resistant to any scratch. So this product is amazing how the Access Bank rep, just took a page off our strategy document. We sell Easy Care to mothers, very, very busy mothers, high-value mothers that have businesses like all of us here. And the thing about mothers is that you want your home to be looking pristine. Before, I would not have tried to do an all-white monochrome design in my house. Never. I wouldn't have tried it. But now I can do it with Easy Care. I love white spaces, so that's the kind of space I want to be always looking pristine, always the walls always looking good. So whatever they write on the wall, crayons, pencils, anything that is water-based spill, it cleans it off easily. And your wall looks as good as new. As good as new. And so that's about Easy Care. And I wanted to talk about, just one more thing. Ajala already stole my thunder, the first speaker, because I happened to, he happened to have a conversation with me, and I was just talking about this tool. So the thing about tools is that it's so important to have tools available for the customer, because to help them express their worlds. If I ask a question around here around the room, and I'll get the same answer, if you're inundated with a lot of color choices, even any choice, if you have so many choices to pick from, so many women, so many men, so many cars, so many schools, so many, you get lost, So you need a tool, you need a consultant. We have Dulux color consultants who have expertise in design, interior decor, color expertise, and we use these tools in store. So the way this works is that there's an app installed in my phone. It's a Dulux app. You can get it in any store, the Android store, the Apple store, whatever store it is. And it's called the Dulux Color Sensor. So the app is on my phone. I already opened it. And all I need to do is Dulux Color Sensor. Yeah. So all I need to do is to, so I've fired it up. So it says, place the color sensor on any object and scan. So I'm going to use my shirt. So let me put it here. Yeah, so I'm wearing a bright orange shirt. I don't like orange shirt, but that's the brand color for. If it's plenty colors, to confuse it, it needs a surface is just one color. Yeah, just one color. So I just put it on my shirt, and I can try with maybe someone with bright red. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you have mustard yellow. Okay. So you just point it. You just point it on the surface. You can just hold it. Hold it, and let me restart. So, yes. So it has, so what it brings out is, the first option would be the colors in the Dulux repository, right? Then after that, some other options. So you can look at the shirt in our Dulux repository is the Dulux Emotion Bamboo. This is the trade. So we have several ranges. I'm sure Jenny is very familiar. We have the Dulux Trade, which is ultra premium and premium. Then we have regular, which is premium. So on the Trade, this is much closer to what they call. But he brought a lot of options. Yeah. So it's a color code. It's a color code. It's called Copper Leaf. Copper Leaf, right? So customers need tools to make choices, and this is what technology does. In store, and Ajala was making a point about us making it available. We will make it available sometime next year to designers and whatnot to, of course, take at a very, very small fee, just like we make our fan decks available, swatches available. So tools, and I'll tell you a huge secret. So we have color consultants who speak to virtual customers, and you must really scale using the internet. So we have customers that speak to us online, and we put clickable ads on social media spaces where they reside, and we've gotten a lot of high value customers when we consult for them and use tools for them to be able to express that thing that they have in their mind, that thing that they have in their imaginations, and seriously, big ticket conversions. So, and customers that understand this kind of service, usually we give a free consultancy service, and they were like, this thing is free because I know how much Jenny will charge me if I call her to come and consult for me. Right? But, we try to ensure that we can help the customers express their walls. So tools and functional products that do more than just put color on your walls. And that's our mantra at Dulux, to ensure that we innovate for the customer. The customer is at the center of our heart, and we want to ensure that we innovate for the customer to ensure that they can express themselves in their words. You can't imagine the kind of requests we get in the inbox. You see someone that will show a picture of her bright purple dress. There was someone that showed a picture of this very, it was brighter on my screen. And she said, I want this color in my room. And we match it, and we'll match it for them and be able to express those tools. The other tools, visualizers, and even ensuring that we have VR, AR devices in store. customers just want to be able to visualize things a bit more, and it helps them make great choices. So thank you for my being here. And as we go around, interfacing with customers, just keep these things in mind. The functional, high-performing products give you a foundation to be able to give the customer that wiggle room to express their worlds. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please let's put our hands together for him. That's from Duloc Easy Care. But I just want to ask, the Easy Care is available in any store, all right, online, and thank you. Please let's put our hands together for him. Thank you. All right, so moving on. Yeah, we want to bring in yet another speaker, okay? And his topic is going to be the future of interior designing, okay? The future of interior design. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome, like I said, the founder and managing director of Polar Bear VR Tech. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Johnson Akinwale. But the video, you're young. I know you're young. I knew you're not, but we have this beautiful video.
Akinwale Johnson. Athanasius is a young creator, architectural designer, virtual reality developer for architecture, art, and music performances. Is the founder and managing director of Polar Bear Tech, a company that programs architectural drawing and interior design into interactive and immersive virtual reality experiences so that people can literally walk inside their building before construction. He also leads a team of VR developers transforming art and museum artifacts into immersive experiences. In addition to leading a group called the Metaverse Architects, in 2021, his architectural design, The Calabash, was awarded Best Design and Best Conceptual Design by a team of seasoned architects. His dream is to nurture and develop a generation of VR creators that solve design problems and continually create worlds that inspire human thinking, imagination, and possibly cause us to transfer those ideas from virtual to real life, especially in Africa. Meet our speaker, Athanasius Akinwale Johnson.
Hi, everyone. That was something. First of all, I just want to say how grateful I am to be here. It feels really good to be here. First of all, I just want to congratulate the organizers for such an amazing and a successful show. Can we give them a round of applause? Yes. I'm going to be as quick as possible and as brief as possible. So I'm going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to have a very quick demonstration. Okay, so from the video, my name is Athanasius. I promise you it's a real name. It's a Greek name, it means immortality. And basically, we started a company called Polar Bear VR. And what we do basically is to take architectural drawings and 3D designs, interior designs, and transform them into virtual reality experiences so that you can literally, the 3D designs that you see on your phone, you can actually enter inside them and actually move things around and interact with the objects. So it's a crazy thing. We're going to be doing a demo quickly, but before then, I just want to talk about communication. Communication is one of the biggest problem in our industry, in the industry of architecture, in the industry of interior design, in the industry of construction in general, because there's always a lot of people involved. So there's usually a line of passage of information. Weak communication is the reason why we make sketches. Okay, sketches to bring your ideas. Communication is the reasons why we create architectural drawings, working drawings, and presentation drawings. Communication is the reason why we create 3D designs to help your clients have an idea of what they're about to invest in. Communication is also the reason why we create animation videos so that you can move around and you can have a walkthrough. However, a couple of people, I included, we decided that, we need to take this to another level. We need to create something that is more immersive, something that is mind-blowing, that when you take to your clients, they are giving you the project immediately. In our company, what we do is innovation. Okay, so we're here to help people transform the way they see design. People create amazing things, amazing ideas, amazing interiors, but a lot of times, communicating those ideas can be difficult. And we at Polar Bear VR, that's what we're trying to help solve. So the future of interior design is this. We're very familiar with everything that's been happening this year with the inclusion of the metaverse, with the inclusion of NFTs, with the inclusion of blockchains and everything. And the truth is, interior design construction is not far away from it, in the sense that now we can allow clients, we can allow people, we can allow interior designers to immerse themselves into the ideas they have, and basically that is the future of interior design. So I'll be doing a demonstration quickly now. I'm gonna make it as interactive as possible. I hope it's okay if I can use the ground. And after that, I'll want the volunteer to try the VR goggles on. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, let's do it. What's the microphone? All right, thank you. So can everybody see what I'm seeing? Yeah? Please help me out now. I'm in the middle of this place. I don't know if someone will slap me like this. Okay, so encourage me, please. All right, can we all see what I'm seeing? Now, this is what we're talking about in terms of being able to control yourself and being able to immerse yourself into your designs. Now, I can move around. Basically, this is scale 1:1, so I can see every little detail, and I can basically switch on and off my TV. I can move around. I can check under the table. I can probably, let's pick up something. I can pick up something. Is everybody still seeing? I can pick up something and drop it here. I can, just basically do whatever I want. Now, this is good for presentation and communication in the sense that you can allow your clients, you can allow your designers have a feel of the building, the interior before it's even, constructed. Now, I'm gonna call someone to come and try it on, and you will feel as if you're in an actual room. There are other options. Let me try and dim the light a little. So now you see, now it's a little bit dim, and I can check around and basically just do whatever I want to do. And imagine this for a massive project where you're moving from room to room. We have different sample projects if you want to try after, but for the sake of our presentation, I think it's good we keep it to this. All right, so can I have a volunteer, please? Does someone want to try? Yeah, please come. Yeah, so I'm trying to ask her some questions. How does the scale look? How does the scale look in terms of real life scale?
It's to scale. It feels like I'm here in person.
Exactly. That's the idea, where you bring your designs. You can check out every little detail. Now, what about the material, the quality of the materials? Look down on the floor.
The flooring is really nice. The curtains are kind of draping.
So basically, it gives you the ability to be able to show your clients the best quality in terms of the materials they need, the textures they need, and basically to have a feel of the space. So are you good? Are you good? Okay. Thank you. Very
Please,
much.
let's try it on a man. I don't trust women. They've given me breakfast. Please, let's come and try it.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
Please, let him try. Stand up. Let's see his feel. Yes.
All right. Are you in?
Okay. Can you see anything? What did you say?
Okay. I'm looking outside through the window.
Take this. Just point to wherever you need to go. Just point it to the floor and to take you, and then press this down. Now I want you to. What does it feel like? Does it feel like you're immersed inside another space?
Yes, it feels like I'm in a space already. This is my new time. Yeah, that's a nice upholstery there.
Go to the stair. Just point to wherever you want to go on this one. Yeah. Okay, it's in the staircase. So basically, all of I know that as you've entered inside, you've seen a lot of people's interior designs and everything. What this gives you is that you can have everything, as many projects inside one. So you can show your clients as many things as you want to show them in the best quality and in a very immersive place. You don't come out of bro. Can we give you a round of applause? All right, so I would like to, quickly just round up and probably take some questions if anybody has. But I just want to reiterate about the issue of communication and how we're trying to solve it with interior designs. Okay, so this is the future for interior designs. And not just that, it's the fact that there's the e-commerce part where if you're a furniture designer, you're a furniture creator, we saw some furnitures there in the design. Immediately, people can immediately like something that they see, choose it, and buy it immediately. So you can now ship it to them wherever they are. You understand? So the e-commerce part of it is also amazing. And with this thing, we try and help our clients push it to the metaverse too. So where anyway, everybody can see the designs you're creating and appreciate it. And you can get jobs from anywhere in the world. So basically, this is the future of design. And I feel like it's better you get it now, not when it's when it's flooded. And so basically that. Thank you so much. Any questions?
I think she has a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how do you put your design into this thing?
All right, so that's what we do in our company. We help program your designs, your ideas, and then we create it into an application. Just like how you have applications on your phone, it becomes an application, and then we install it inside the VR goggles. So it's usable on any VR goggles. And not just that, it's also usable on your phone. So there's the phone one too, where you can use your hand to be going around and moving around. So basically, your clients can have a feel of everything that is in their space. I hope that answers your question. Anyone? Any other questions? Okay. All right, Mark. Thank you. Is it? She asked, is it expensive? Well, I think that's a very good question, and I'm moving away a little bit. Well, expensive is subjective, So I believe that what is worth doing is worth doing well. So it is a luxurious, it's a luxurious tech, but the results are very, very doable. And I just want to say we have something for everyone. Okay, we have two products in our companies. We have the primitive VR and we have the advanced VR. This is advanced VR. But for the primitive VR is the one I was talking about, using your phone. So that one is still relatively cheap. It's actually, the normal price. But if you want to wow your clients, if you want an innovative edge, a competitive edge, and you want to be world-class in our day and age, then that's what you should be getting. All right, so yes, thank you very much. Any other questions?
And they say you didn't mention the price. It says luxurious.
No, the price is usually dependent on the size of the project and how interactive it is. Now there was something I failed to explain, is the fact that now you saw when I held the cup and I moved it around. Not just that, you can also change materials in real time. So that means if you're trying to present to your client and you're like, okay, this is tiles, but let's try hardwood. Immediately, we can program those materials so that immediately you want it, you can just change it immediately, and your clients can see it. If you want a different furniture, you can have different options of furniture, and then they'll be able to switch from one to the other. So, sorry, what was your question?
That was you said, that you didn't say the price.
I didn't say the price. So I was talking about how interactive it can be.
You
so
have not
it
said the
depends.
price. It's the price that Rachel has been hammering.
If you want the price, then you reach out to us. Yes, thank you. You said? No, it's not.
Yeah, so
okay.
From the moment you are giving designs, how long does it take to get to that point where you can use it for VR?
Oh, nice. Very good question. Thank you. So it depends. If we're doing the design for you, because we also design, we have designers, 3D generalists, very amazing talents. So if we're doing that, then it usually takes about 3 weeks to a month with the VR, everything included, you know. But if we're just doing the VR integration alone, you're coming with your design, we can have it to you in a week. You know, we like to say 10 days, but most times it's usually before then, you know. So yes, basically that.
All right, one more.
Someone, yeah.
Okay, two more. Yeah.
Sorry, is there any form of training provided for like interior designers? Because I'm just thinking of sustainability for people in the industry already.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very good question. So in our company, we're presently working on a training for people who are interested in going the VR way. And not just VR, also AR, where you can pick up your phone and in an empty land and just start moving your phone and you see that it's already designed. You know, so we're planning trainings already. I will drop our email address. So just if you're interested and you want to, you can send us an email, and we'll keep your details so that when the time comes, you'll be the first to get the emails. And not just that, we're presently working on. I can't say a lot of things because it's still in the works. But we're presently working on a platform that would make it really, really easy, because this is quite difficult to do, the programming and everything, because we use powerful engines they use for video games, you know, and everything. So, so we're working, and in our company we innovate, so that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Another question.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask for the 3D that you guys, show on the VR.
Yeah.
Is it software specific, or can we just use any of our 3D modeling software?
You can use any of your 3D modeling softwares. You can use Revit, SketchUp, 3D Max, Rhino, Cinema 4D, anything. But the softwares we use are compatible with any of those 3D softwares. So if you send it to us with any file format, we'll be able to program it for you. Yes, thank you.
Any more questions? All right, thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for Mr.
Thank you so much.
Akinwale, the CEO of Polar Bear. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so we want to do a quick break now, but this one has to do with taking pictures and then moving around. But the time frame here is 10. It's free. It's not expensive. This one is free. It's free. This one is free. Yeah. So we need you to please stand, and we need you to walk around everywhere here, okay? If you want to take pictures, yes, you can. If you want to do videos, yes, you can. But please, you have 10 minutes. And after the 10 minutes, please, you're meant to be back here, okay, for the panel section. 20 minutes max, top. That's what we're going to give us. And then we'll be back here for the panel section. All right, so music, please. Let's go.
Nobody go there, nobody go there. Where money no there. Go back up, they all love it's a lie. My people
More interactive, like I said, because we're going to have a moderator and we're going to have panelists, okay? It's a different section. This is where we are going to actually touch in varieties of questions. And trust me, every speaker and panelist coming up here are experienced in every field. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up the moderator at this point. Trust me, she is really, really beautiful. When I saw her, I just said that when I'm getting married, I have to get married to a woman. Like, she's that beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, she's the creative director of Arc and Tech Interior. As you can see, looking beautiful. Please put your hands together for the one and only Morenike Molenyi. Please, let's put our hands together for her. She's going to be the moderator today.
Molade Confidence, co-founder EJ Coaxis, Toby Banking, creative director, Kaizen Identity, Joyce Yuzuki, founder, JD Furniture Limited, Olayemi Owosho, CEO, Home
Please let's give a round of applause. And as we welcome Mr. Fleming up onto the stage, is he around? Yes. You're welcome. Yes. A round of applause, please, as I invite Tomi Bangbelu, Joy Shitu, Okpeyemi Owosho, and Molade. Please, a round of applause. You shouldn't stop clapping until they are all seated on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for being on this session. You all have our mics? Okay. All right, let's go. So my first question is directed at Tomi. It's not me. It's how I'm saying it here. So what comes to mind when you hear about design and tech? I mean, this panel session is about design and tech and how we can incorporate tech into our designs. I know we're already experiencing that, but then what comes to mind when you think about design and tech?
Okay, so a couple of things come to mind. It's not just one thing. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is the metaverse, because that's what everybody's talking about, but that's just one part of it. When you think design and tech, I probably would think about how tech can influence design in terms of the tools or the design process in itself, how tech can help improve the design process. That's one thing that'll come to mind. And then I'll also think about maybe how tech can improve design products or design experiences. In that case, you're thinking not just the design process, but you're thinking maybe like smart homes or smart offices in that line. And in terms of process, you're probably thinking about your CAD and technologies or VR or experiences. And then you could just go to the other end where you're thinking probably AR, VR, or the metaverse. So that's what comes to mind.
Thank you so much, Tomi. Thank you so much. My next question is directed to Okpe. What do you think is the future of home and gas to smart homes? What do you think is the future of home and gas to smart home? Or what do you think is the future of home in terms of like smart homes?
Thanks for that question. Tech can no longer play peripheral parts in future of homes. I mean, tech has come to stay. It's a central part of it. How we do what we do, our everyday lives, data gathering of how we do what we do, predictive mechanisms of what we do, and I mean tech is there to make design, to make future of home more livable, to make it more desirable.
All right, so since we're talking about smart homes, right, please, at what point will we be able to say, Alexa, help me to go and quickly make amala? When will that be possible? Can you just give us like an estimated time? Because I just want to be sitting down and just send Alexa to the kitchen and help me to, roll the amala.
Interesting question.
Sorry, for you, like, go into the kitchen and, yes, exactly.
Interesting question. So I'm going to bring it to our local perspective here, the Nigerian context. Still a while away. I think we should appreciate how far we've gone locally in the Nigerian context. There's still so many basic things AI can still do for us, tech can do at home. I think telling Alexa to make amala is 10 years away.
It's 10 years away. I even love the fact that you're answering that question.
I think so. But there are so many basic things tech can do for us now. Yeah. Like in context of what we do at Home Fort, we know when you run out of gas. We monitor your gas usage for you. You see your gas usage in real time. You never ever run out of gas. I mean, I think looking at it from the local perspective, how it affects us here, I think there are so many basic things we can use tech to do before we say, Alexa, make a mala for me.
That's very, very interesting because I think that my nanny would need that one for gas because most times in the middle of cooking something, she just says, Madam, gas has finished. And I'm like, how did we get here, right? So I will take you up on that. So moving on to Mr. Fleming, I'd like to ask, right? Hello. How realistic is technology in influencing the future of interior design and how it affects home and lifestyle?
Ecology?
Okay, interesting.
Did you say ecology?
No, technology.
What?
So let me take that again. I said, how realistic is technology influencing the future of interior design and how it affects home and lifestyle?
It's very, you can say, prestigious homes build 96 units, and we all put in smart homes from your company. So our homes are driven by smart technology. You can say in Denmark, we do not, when we have a house, total recycling. We don't need water from the outside of the house. We can actually recycle everything inside the house. You can take Dubai. We can control the weather. We can decide that in June, July, on this community, we only want 20 degrees. So technology is very, very interesting. The other part is that as a human, as an adult, we only have 2% creativity. As a 5-year-old, we got 98. And as a 10-year-old, we got 30. And as a 50-year-old, we got 12. So the part here is that we stop dreaming. If I'm going out there and looking at what is possible in Nigeria, looking at the different vendors out there, and then I go outside this house, if my thoughts, my feelings are impacted by environment, then I'm really in trouble. Can you follow what I'm saying? So the other part you talked about running out of fuel. Why does the generator run out of fuel? Why does my cooking run out of fuel? Why do I not just have 2 containers? So when one is empty, I go and refill it. I always have a reserve. I've never run out. It's all about perception. So your patterns, you can say humans are pattern people, and you only see 10% of life, nothing more. The 90% you're missing. So especially here, we have a tendency to not see all the options, not see all the opportunities. And I would say it doesn't matter where you're born, as long as you have Jesus in front of you or following, walking together with him. Everything is an option. Everything is a possibility.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Christian, so I'd like to ask, right, technology is not cheap. And so how can we make smart homes affordable?
Okay, well, making smart homes affordable, it all depends on what somebody wants, right? So I can get like a smart switch, which is about 14,000 naira, you know. But the thing is, most people, they can get into a smart home if they want to now, right? But the thing is that they all want everything in their house to get that full effect. So if they just have a switch, right, that their phone can control, they are not satisfied with just that. They want the entire experience. So it's something that you have to ease up to. Yeah? So let's say you want to get into the whole smart home ecosystem. You don't get it at once. That's what I would advise. You get like, let's say you just do your living room, 3 switches. 3 switches cost you about 45,000 naira, and also the cost is also relative to who is spending the money, you know? So once you get 45,000 naira, you already have a smart home, right? You get a smart camera, they go for 20,000 naira. In the space of 60,000 naira, you already have a smart home. You tell my family member, they can see you show them their phone, look at my house, I have a smart home, right? So it's not when somebody is doing an entire mansion that they say, oh, smart home is very expensive. It's relative to what you want and what you are willing to pay for it. Some people are willing to pay just for their living room. And yeah, it's quite affordable if I may ask. Things like the smartphone you're using to control your house, their expenses are as expensive as 1 million, 2 million, 900. But then if you can spend 40,000 to start, right? And then you can continue to add on as you go.
Thank you so much. I love that you made that point.
Can I say something?
Yes, add that.
So what was the cost of the smart in all the smart, the cameras, the everything, the remote, you have the telephone, everything in one of our La Vida units? What is the cost? You have video cameras, you have all the things.
So for we have different packages, right? What we did for you. So let's say for the entire unit, it goes to about, if you're doing an entire house, it can range from about 1.5 to about 3.5, thereabouts. Now, it all depends on what you want to add. So, yeah.
So 1.5 million compared to a price of 220 million. Everything is relative. If I got the 220 million to buy the unit, 4-bedroom, why don't I have 1.5 million to buy the full automated home, which can be controlled from everywhere?
So yes, so that's for someone that has 220 million.
Yes.
But what if for someone that is buying a home, say 10M or 20 million or 30 million?
Yeah, but
right?
if you're buying a 2-bed for 60 million, which you can do in Lakey Phase 1, 2, what is 1.5 million compared to 60 million?
Well,
it's not a lot. If you have the 60 million, you probably also have the 1.5.
Yes.
You can sit in the airport, you can sit in the US, you can sit wherever you are in the world and control your home.
You're very right. And I think that was the point I was trying to make earlier on, right? That even if you can't afford everything at the time, because again, disposable income, disposable funds, someone might have even gotten a loan or mortgage to even, get that house, and then they're paying instrumentally. And so at the time, smart home isn't, what they are actually. But then if you can break it, that, okay, let me focus first on my living room. And I think that's where, I'd say that Christian.
I was talking with another company about a community in VI with 12, you can say, terraces. And they did inverter investment and all that kind of stuff. And in 1.5 year, 18 months, it was coming back because of the fuel pricing. The diesel is 800 and so on. So it's an investment up front, yes, but your savings will really come back fast, especially because you can control the home. That means you can reduce, if you're doing short let, you'll reduce the cost of the short let with 1/3 or half.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So I'll move over to this side and ask Tommy, what aspect of interior design is seriously in need of technology advancements?
Could you repeat the question again?
Okay, sure. What aspect of interior design is seriously in need for technology advancement?
Every part. I think every part. So, as we all know, the world is changing. So let's start with that. So nothing stays the same. As technology improves, interior design as an industry needs to improve. Same thing, and I think with the way the world is now, most people are banking on experiences. If you look at the Gen Zs, they are looking to have new experiences. And when it now comes to, and I'm going to break it down into its parts, when it comes to design as a service to someone, you want to make sure that you can give them that full experience. So in that part, in design experience, that's for interior designers, how you represent your work, that you can use technology to make it better. I think there was someone who also, I can't remember a speaker earlier who was showing how you could actually represent the design that you do in terms of VR. There's just VR, there's also AR. So that part, especially in this country, you could use that to improve the way you present your work. So in that part, yes, it needs technology to improve. Also in terms of design as, not just as a service, but as a product. So we've talked about smart homes, right? I think a lot of people on this panel do residential, but I do more maybe commercial and hospitality. And when it comes to just overall well-being, safety, quality, sustainability, most importantly. Yes, technology can help you create more sustainable buildings because then you have more use in terms of light efficiency, which I think Mr. Fleming talked about, right? And then also in terms of gas efficiency, right? You want to be able to, for example, from your phone, turn off the gas, which other people can do. So you don't have, or from your phone, like you said, make amala, right? And that's to be honest, I don't think that's too far. It's really possible. I think maybe in 2 years you'll be able to do that. But in terms of delivering spaces that are more efficient and sustainable, technology is needed in that area. So we had COVID-19, for example. You want to make sure you have spaces that are clean, right? Technology can help in that, etc.
Thank you so much, Tom. Please, a round of applause. So I'll come to... You wanted to add something?
You actually have two problems in that question because human brain has shrinked 1/3 the last 100 years because we don't use it. We got our phones and everything. The other part is that the more we automate, the fatter we become because we don't move. So that's another problem. So life can be too easy. Or we just got a lot of freedom, so we can go and exercise instead. So it's all about change, and everything changes every single day. But do we change? That's the question.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So I'll move over to Joy. And my question to you will be, when producing furniture, how do you incorporate technology? Or when manufacturing furniture, how do you incorporate technology?
Thank you. So for furniture production, which furniture is part of one of the major elements that you use in interior design, we have moved to digital manufacturing, and so it helps us to be able to have consistent quality and consistent products, in size and finish, because most of the designs of the furniture now are done using CAD. They're cut with CNC machines, so there's efficiency, there's no room for error. So from cutting the wood to the foam to the fabrics and everything. So it's easy for people now, the artisans now, they're no longer involved in the thinking process. So the technology thinks everything for them. They just now bring their craftsmanship to do the finish, which can be monitored. So it makes us have better finished products and better quality. That's where the furniture space is now, digital manufacturing.
All right, so my follow-up question to that will be, can you tell us how to manufacture furniture digitally?
Okay, so it starts from you having your design for the furniture. And then when you have the design for the furniture, it's transformed into CAD for the details of the parts of the furniture, especially the frame. So from that, there are G-codes that transfers that CAD to CAM. And then when it goes to CAM, it's now imputed on a CNC melter or CNC laser or something, and then you place your material and it does all the cutting for the wood, for the fabric, for everything that you want to cut. So when that is done, there's no room for errors, like I said. So you also have your assembly drawing that your artisans will follow. So everything is stated out. Okay, so you're sewing. There are attachments to your machine that gives the same clearance and allowance all through. So you can't have wobble seam. So these are the things that is in now for furniture making.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Opayemi, please can you tell us how smart gas solution works with tech innovation at home? Do you want me to take that again?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for that. So apparently, I'm going to just tell you a bit about how we started. And I mean, it's normal for someone who has a G-Wagon to run out of gas and place an empty cylinder in his G-Wagon to go look for gas. I mean, there's nothing too bad about it. The society has allowed it because what else can you do? I mean, what can you do about it? It ran out of gas. And we thought of what if there's a smart meter that tracks your gas usage in real time. And while you use your gas, you know the level in real time through your mobile app. And before you run out of gas, HomeFort will come, swap your bottle, your almost empty bottle, it's not yet empty, swap with a new pre-filled bottle, and you never run out of gas. and where you don't have to have multiple bottles in your house is dangerous. Cylinders have lifespans. Lifespan of a cylinder is 10 years, or if I tell you that 90% of cylinders in circulation in Nigeria today are expired. So we are trying to solve from the safety factor and from the convenience factor, whereby I don't have to, I mean, it's gas as a service, energy as a service. Cook as you want, focus on your work, and let's take care of your gas where you never run out of gas again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Christian, would you like to tell us the advantages and disadvantages of technology in interior design? I mean, I think Mr. Fleming already started that conversation. But building up on that, what would you see, are the advantages and disadvantages? Because anything that has advantage, you usually have a disadvantage. So, yes.
So, in terms of advantages, what I feel tech does to interior design, I think it opens up a new possibility of design. So you're not limited to what you have. So with technology, let's give for example, with dynamic staircase lighting. So this is something new that people are doing now, where the staircase lights up per riser, right? So now, in itself, that's technology and design at the same time. So some people have those lights running up the walls and then having some fine designs on it. So it highlights those things on the walls as you go up. So that's a case scenario of that happening. Now, in terms of disadvantage, right, not everybody is conversant with how the tech works. So it limits the amount of people that can access that kind of technology. So, so it then kind of like heightens the price for a particular tech, right? Something that should have been normally kind of cheap will be, driven up by price around the whole market, because it's not something that everybody's conversant with. Well, the thing about technology is it evolves with time. And as you go down the line, you see new technology comes up, which can inadvertently bring down the price.
Fantastic, thank you. Mr. Fleming, do you want to add to what he's just said?
Yeah, technology, you can say, we only have 2% imagination. By using AI and VR, we can increase that, but actually we could start dreaming more. The other part of technology is that in Dubai, probably in 5 years, you'll have a driverless car, you'll have robots building the houses, and you can have a robot cooking your food. So you just say, hey Google, make my breakfast. And it's served in your bed. It's not far away. But the other hand, again, what will happen with us when we have somebody to do all the dirty work, if we can say so? And here is a totally different thing, because 90% or 95% of the population are not thriving. They are only barely surviving. But if Peter Obe goes into the office next year, perhaps everything will change.
Thank you so much for that.
Sorry, if I may add, based on kind of like what experience of what we've done in terms of working with interior design, what we do kind of like brings life into the particular home, in the sense that a client is able to communicate with the home. So let's say you have, you've designed kind of like a TV console where your TV is supposed to come down the lift, or you want to have a bar hidden behind the TV. Technology helps you to achieve that, right? So now without technology, all you just have is a TV sitting down there. That's right.
But the part is that my client doesn't have the imagination to imaginate what is possible. What you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to be there to tell him, you saw the lightning, you saw all the different things. Yeah. So these are the options. Yeah. And if you put on the AI, then you can even be there and try it before you buy it.
Thank you. No, don't give him the mic, because my next question is to you. We know that owning a good home is expensive and imperative, right? And what are the factors to consider when buying a home?
If I'm going to buy a home, I would consider How is it constructed? All the things I can't see. I can talk for ourselves, Prestigious Homes.
Yes, I want.
So when we built La Vida, that's 3 floors, ground 1 and 2. We did 389 piling points on the plot. We are using the columns, the slabs and everything. We're using 25 millimeter steel. And it's very massive. Even our engineers are saying we are over-exceeding. But you can say a shoreline we sold for $5 million 2 years ago, it's still the same shoreline. It's not. It looks like it's brand new. So the things I don't see is the things I will question when I go in. And then because you can go into, you can say, property in Lagos where I will say that the guy who put the tiles up in the bathroom or on the floor absolutely was insane. I don't like the colors, I don't like the tiles. So are we following the latest trends? Where the developer buying the material? A home is a happy place. A home is full of security. A home is a place where I can go in and totally relax. So a Zen garden must be there too for me. And again, you can say it's great when I leave, home closed down, and everything shuts down. And when I come home or when I fly in, I turn on the AC in the airport. It will take me 3 hours to reach there, so it will be cold when I arrive, and so on. So home is, for me, a happy place, and it's white, and I have it in my head. I don't have a home yet. So I've been traveling the last 10 years, 90 countries, been working with a lot of people and so on. So more or less, I have a home in Dubai, and that's totally white, and it's smart. And I can go out, I can look at the water, I can take a swim in the sea, and that's for me home.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. While we try to round up this panel session, I'd like to ask Tommy, as an experienced interior designer and been in the industry for some time now, what are some of the advice that you give to upcoming interior designers?
Okay, that's veering off the topic, but okay. First of all, are there any upcoming interior designers in the crowd?
Let me raise my hand up.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. No, you're not, but okay. In terms of advice for up-and-coming interior designers, I would say, I think the advice I would give everyone, and this applies to anyone actually, is just don't give up, and then learn. I think the undoing for most people is either they aren't tenacious enough, so you're not sticking to what it is you're doing, and just keep on doing it. You can have a brick wall and a sickle and break everywhere, but if you keep on eating at something over and over again, at some point it would crack. So just stay on course and then learn. So there is no point staying on course if you don't have the right knowledge to do what it is you are trying to achieve. Insanity is doing something the same way and expecting a different result. And there's ton of knowledge out there. And knowledge is not just in terms of interior design as a craft, but in terms of business itself. So keep on learning. I think that's all I can say, those two things.
Thank you so much. Do you want to add something to that? Okay, fantastic. Joy, I would like to ask you this. So what makes up a good furniture, and then how do we identify one?
Okay, so to know a good furniture is looking at it first, because it has to be appealing to your eyes. You know, you see that it's nice. When a furniture is well finished, you just see it immediately. So after that, it's good to have knowledge of materials too, and the things that go into furniture as an interior designer, because you'll be working with a lot of furniture manufacturers and artisans. So you're able to detect the quality of material that they're using for you. Because if these things go bad, nobody will go to the artisan, they will come to you. And thirdly, I would say that the furniture must meet the function. Because if it is not functional, it is useless. So those are the three things I would say about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I would just like to quickly ask the audience if you have any questions for the panelists. We can probably just, I don't think we can take more than 3 questions, but if you have any questions, please, let's have them now. Mike, anyone with any question? Any question?
I have a question. Oh no, I have a question. Who wanted to be who wanted to be an interior designer? I saw some hands before. How many wants to be interior designers? Only 1? 2, 3, 4. What is blocking you? What is stopping you? You know, she talked before. So the part here is that if you're standing on hope, that is action, willpower, and goals. So when do you want to be interior designer? What kind of interior designer? Do you have a dream? Do you have a dream? Do you have goals? Who are going to help you to become an interior designer? Is she going to be your role model, or is she going to be your role model? Who are you following? Trending? What's going on? If you don't have anything of this, if you don't make a goal map, and if you don't set a timeline on it, you can even visualize it. And it goes for every single thing in your life. 10 years ago, I was living on the streets in Denmark because I didn't fill out the right papers. Before that, I was a leader of a bank. And I died half an hour and had an encounter with Jesus. The part here is that you can do whatever you want. But if you don't know what you want, and if you did not visualize it, if you didn't paint it as a picture, it'll never going to happen. If you don't put timelines on it, it's never going to happen. It doesn't matter where you're born. It doesn't matter if you're born with a gold spoon in your mouth or whatever, where you come from. It's not interesting. It's your goals that is interesting, and your timelines, and your milestones, and your peers. And take away the excuses and blame. Forget it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We have a question. And please just let us know who you're directing the question at, and then ask the question. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Olawumi. So I just got into the interior design space. I mean, I just finished schooling and all of that. So my question is directed to maybe Ms. Tomi or Mrs. Morenike. So my question is, you're just getting in, and you're not getting jobs yet. What do you do while waiting exactly?
Tom, you know that I'm going to pass it on to you. I'm just here to ask questions.
So just to be sure that I got your question, you're just starting out? Yes. Did you study interior design at some point? Yes. Oh, okay. And then you haven't got any? Okay, how long ago? When did you study?
Last month. Just finished last month.
1 month?
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, yes, wow. And what should you do while you're waiting to get your first job? Is that the
Yes,
word?
that's a question.
Keep improving yourself. Volunteer. People assume that, while I do agree that you shouldn't work for free, but it's not necessarily always the case. Volunteer. Do your friends' home. Do something. Do anything that has to do with something within that line. Create concepts and show people. Do ideas for people for free. Let people see that you have the capacity to do the work. So the issue about getting jobs, if we boil it down to the main concern, is credibility. Pure and simple. Do people trust that you can do the work? Do people even know that you exist in terms of you can deliver that job? So people need to know you, like you, and then trust you. And that's just all credibility. So how do you build credibility? Build credibility by doing something. You can only say you can do it if you've done it. Or people would only believe that you can do it if you've done it. They don't care whether you did it for free or not, can you do it? So do something. That's all I can say.
Fantastic. I think that Mrs. Jennifer, I'm going to, rope her into this. You can also answer this question, seeing that she has like an interior design school, and we talk about this. Let me give you my mic.
Okay, thank you. I think Tommy said a lot about it, but the truth is you have to be out there. Nobody knows you exist now, and that's the truth. If I go and search on Instagram and say, I don't know, you might not come out. If I go to Google and say interior designers in Lagos, you definitely will not come out because they can't find you. So what you need to do now that you're waiting is trying to create ways to be visible. Do I have a website? Even if it's a one-page website where we can go and say interior designers in Lagos and you will come out. Do you even have a business name? Do you have CAC? You can begin to design spaces for family and friends, like Tommy actually said. You can even begin to do renderings. So if you can do 3D renderings, do renderings, post on Instagram. People just want to see how creative are you first. And once they see that, then they can say, oh, okay, she does this. But the truth is, you have to first start with people around you. Anywhere you go to now, you don't go for events just to go and party. You have to begin to be intentional about it. Let people know I'm an interior designer. This is what I do now. Family and friends, you go to church, when you say, praise the Lord, I'm an interior designer. So any opportunity that you find yourself, and I'm sure some of you are here, when you finish, you will carry your food and you go home. The person sitting down next to you does not even know who you are. And that's it. So, but you have to be intentional about marketing yourself. Then when the jobs come, they come. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Round of applause. Any other question? Do you have any question?
Sorry, I have a question for Joy. So now, if we begin to introduce technology, one, are the artisans embracing it? Are they not? Because I find that they are used to that, their sword that they used to use. They are used to it. So it's a struggle. So you'll be hearing things like, I've been doing this for 20 years, madam. I know this is my work. So that's another thing I find. How can we encourage artisans to begin to embrace technology? Yeah.
Okay. Well, from my experience, the ones that I work with and the ones that have passed through me, they're embracing it because it just makes their life easier. It makes them, one thing I noticed is, when you give artisans jobs, and because you brought in a tool or a machinery to make their job better, sometimes people tend to pay them less. So that is why they always feel like they need to show you that it's hard, it is difficult. But what we should understand is, when you bring in machines, tools, and things to make your job efficient, you are gaining time, you're gaining speed, you're gaining good quality. That is much more for you than reducing their pay. So when you bring something that make their life easier, and you still pay them the same amount, they would gladly do it because they can earn more. So that's what I do. I always make sure that I don't reduce whatever, but I bring in because, okay, for example, before now, if I have a carpenter, for example, could do maximum of 6 chairs, dining chairs in a week from start to finish. Like, he has to prepare the wood, he has to cut the frame, and then pass it to the upholsterer. It will use 5 or 6 days, one person. But right now with technology, we do 20 per person in a day.
Wow.
And then he still gets paid per piece, and he gets incentives to sell it out. And then he's pushing to I'm able to deliver 200 chairs every month. So at the end of the day, it pays me more because my profit goes higher. So that's how we should look at it. Just make sure that you don't reduce their pay and then build on their efficiency. It makes them better and makes you better too.
Fantastic.
Can I ask you a question? You produced 24 chairs before. Now you automated, semi-automated, fully automated, or where are you in the process? Huh?
So he said that. So before you were producing 24, now you're doing more.
You're doing
is it fully
200.
automated or semi-automated?
For furniture making, you will still use human labor at the end of the day. So we would all the frames were done manually before.
Okay.
But now all the frames come in parametric.
Okay.
So they just fix together, and then you just screen the parts, and then everything is strong. And then what we've also been able to do in our design of our frames is to make sure that they're adaptable to 10 designs. So that makes sense for us.
So
You
it's
understand?
semi.
It's semi. It's always semi. Nobody can. You still need furniture making. You will still need that skilled hand.
Okay,
To
but-
do the finishing. So the upholstery part and the assembly part would be done by skilled people.
But if I may ask you one more question, one of your benefits is that human errors are reduced.
Yeah.
Okay.
And speed. Because you find that, interior designers are here, carpenter disappoints you all the time.
Mm.
And it's not because they are doing everything manually. So when you have a system that can make their work faster, it helps everybody at the end of the day. So I think your credibility with your customers are even more important than even how do I put it now? It's most important because they make
So-
you feel bad when they disappoint you.
So you deliver more and you
deliver
have
more.
less failure.
Exactly. And then you don't have rejects. You know how these things happen. That you believe so much in somebody and you're taking the thing there and the customer is saying, what is this? And all of that is eliminated because you brought in technology.
Okay, great.
All right, so as we're rounding off, no more questions? Just that's the last question for this panel session.
Okay, thank you very much, panelists. So my question is, now with the advent of technology, you have said that you're going to increase your production. Now, have you factored in the cost of warehousing? Because there are chances that when you produce more, there might be sometimes when your vendors or your clients will not pick them up on time. So what happens to the cost of warehousing? Thank you.
Okay, so for me, we don't really have that problem now because, like I said, they are in parts. You know how Lego is? That's how the parts of the furniture is now. For beds, for chairs, for sofas. That's how their frames are. So they are flat packed on top of each other. So when you have an order for a particular design, naturally they'll give you like 2 to 3 weeks. And then now I can give 5 days. I already have, because I will finish it and deliver in 5. So I don't need to have the bulk. So I just have my stuff in panels, just stacked. We just bring them. And like I said, the way we've created our design such that one particular panel can give you like 5 different 6 designs. So it's always adaptable like that. So we don't really have issue of storage for now. I don't know about future, but now we don't.
All right.
The future, you will produce 1,000 in a month. And everybody will be able to buy because Peter Ober goes into the office.
Yes, and it also makes the product
Yes.
cheaper.
Yes,
Because now your overhead is spread across, higher, so you're able to be more competitive than your competitors and still deliver quality.
Fantastic. Please, a round of applause to our amazing panelists. Thank you so much. I think that we'll just all rise, take a group photo as we end this session. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so just take the picture first. Yes, let's take.
Style Plus.
When I said to you that I'd never wanna love another woman, girl, it was true. So true, I meant to marry you. But when I did, I wouldn't want to take care of you.